start paying attention, and I'll jump up really quick and recalibrate them and set them back correctly.
Hey, that's been one of my algorithms too. Not little kids, but like adults getting sucked out. Like, it went from beautiful romantic moment to tragedy, and I was like, damn, when I keep watching and they're on the beach holding hands, and then she goes a little bit into the water and it sucks her out.
Yeah. I think I've seen that.
And she's gone.
What do you do in an undertow?
You swim sideways.
That's right. You swim along the shore till you're out of the undertow.
If you don't panic.
If you don't panic. And that's why it's important to know that thing, because hopefully you think about it.
I dog pedal along the shoreline.
Okay.
I can't swim very fast. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And our friends, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys.
That's right. When you're in need of an attorney, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys, dead hit. At the end of the week, there is your call. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com. That's where you get started there. You pay nothing unless they win your case. One thing Alex wanted to do, he's a Birmingham guy. He wanted to create a firm that could handle any issue his community of Birmingham faced. They do that now. Not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you're in need of attorney, Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Lane Kiffin apparently is getting a big recruit today.
Why?
No, excuse me. Is it Hugh Freeze? That's Hugh Freeze. Oh, wait. It's Lane Kiffin.
What are we doing?
It's breaking news.
Here's what just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
J.C. Anderson is a 4-star tight end out of Illinois.
Okay.
Right?
He committed to Ole Miss
Hotty toddy.
Okay.
over Auburn and Illinois.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That is not lost on one Lane Kiffin, who then tweeted
At Hugh Freeze. Okay.
Yeah, he tagged Hugh Freeze in this,
So he's taking a victory lap on Hugh?
Yes.
For a 4-star.
For a 4-star tight end.
For a 4-star tight end out of Illinois.
Wow.
Because Hugh used to hold up a big fish
Yeah.
when he would catch a big fish in recruiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see where I got confused, Brownie? In
I do, yeah.
It's like a Lane Kiffin tweet, but it's also a Hugh Freeze tweet, and it's a Jackson Dart-looking dude that's holding up a
I think that's
fish.
actually Kiffin's son.
Yeah.
He was
maybe
at the
Knox.
Alabama passing camp recently.
Yeah. Hey, they're going crazy. They're saying that Knox kid could be a pretty good player.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
By the way, Hayes Fawcett saying 10 commitments happening today of 4 or 5 stars, including the one you just saw there. So if you like recruiting, follow Hayes Fawcett there. And stay up to date at Next Round Live throughout the holidays. And we look forward to being back with you Monday with our next live show after the July 4th weekend. A new pennant grace coming up in 13 minutes, and a new meltdown today at 2 o'clock. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Back with you live on the next round. Live show on a Monday after our July 4th Independence Weekend break. We hope you had a great one. We'll get to recruiting news, both on the positive side and on the questionable side in the Southeastern Conference. We'll talk a little NFL football and all the other things going on in the sports world today. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, everyone behind the big glass, and some vacation time, little tease on a little vacation this week. EG's here. So we're ready to go post July 4th. I don't know how you guys feel, but July 4th to me is I know technically on a calendar it's not, but that's the midway point of summer for me.
Okay.
It's Memorial Day starts summer. July 4th is the midway point. Labor Day ends it.
That's a more sensible calendar than we actually have.
I mean, it's sad that the kids only have a month.
I know.
Yeah, and then they're back in school. But it was a little, the way the calendar fell, it was our longest Independence Weekend break we've ever taken. I hope everyone had a good one. Everybody even Tyler looks to have a little sun on his face, and your pigmentation.
Even Tyler.
Even Tyler.
Well, I mean, he
early shot 1 minute in, Tyler.
Compared to
because I really didn't go out much.
Yeah.
I didn't get any sun.
Yeah, compared to the rest of us, you run a little paler than the rest of us. You're the whitest white guy up here.
Well, you spend 6 hours a night in a theater.
Don't get much sun in the theater, right?
No UV rays in row 4 at the IMAX.
How many movies did you see in our break?
So there's not any new movies out that I haven't already seen.
Right.
So I've been catching up on the old Superman movies. So
That's right. I remember you said that.
Right now I'm on Superman 4, A Quest for Peace.
This was not punishment, right? You chose to do this.
I choose to do this.
Okay.
Every time there's a new sequel to a franchise movie, I go through the entire franchise and rank them on the meltdown.
Do you do this with Medea too when Tyler Perry does a...
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Forster did something I did not know he ever did. Forster is a guy that owns a pool. He has a pool in his backyard. And I've never heard you say you actually got in that pool until this weekend. You finally got in that pool.
I did get in the pool. I'm a late night pool guy. Like I if it's 98 outside, I don't want any part of it.
You're a night swimmer.
Yes.
Night
So
swimmer.
I was in it probably about 10:30 at night while everybody's shooting off fireworks around us.
Yeah, I'm always asking him. I'm like, hey, a little pool time this weekend? Because I grilled. The girls got in the pool.
I did plenty of that.
Yeah, and I'm always like, the girls got in the pool. Yeah, the girls got in. I grilled on the outside or cut grass or I did this. He's always
Also
doing
did
things
that.
outside of the pool.
Yes.
He's never doing things inside the pool. I know you were in the pool.
Yeah. I was at the lake a couple of days, in the pool a couple of days. I'll tell you, by yesterday, I was kind of wanting a washout yesterday. I know we've had like the wettest spring
No pool for
and
rain.
early summer in maybe in Alabama history.
That's
I don't
one
know.
of them, yeah, gotta
but
be.
I was kind of yesterday, man, I don't need any more sun, and I ended up creeping out there and hung out for a couple of hours. But, yeah, plenty of sun.
Yeah. Brownie, what'd you do?
Pool, golf, and 8.
Yeah.
That's my kind of weekend, man.
I went up to Mentone. We had a good time up there, played a little golf, and it's good to be back. All rested, ready for media days. Big 12 starts us off tomorrow in Frisco. We'll talk about the Big 12 and the stage being set coming up. We're in Atlanta next week for SEC Media Days, the ACC and the Big Ten doing their stuff over the next couple of weeks, too. So that gets us to our college football conversation, brought to you in part today by a couple of great folks. One of them, our friends at Company Distilling, available at ABC stores all over the free state of Alabama.
Yeah, hey, look, the weekend just wrapping up, but you're probably already making summer plans the rest of the rest of the season. And one of the great things that if you're looking for a summer road trip, we're toasting to our friends at Company Distilling. 3 must-visit distillery destinations across Tennessee. Thompson Station just outside of Nashville, historic Lynchburg, and Townsend in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Take a tour, enjoy a flight of award-winning whiskey, sip on a craft cocktail, soak it all in with the best of Company. Plan your visit at CompanyDistilling.com. All ages welcome to visit. Must be 21 or older to sample. Please enjoy responsibly. You can now find Company Distilling in ABC stores across Alabama and in states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina.
And don't forget our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots. They are headquartered right here in Birmingham. 24 years they've done that. And they've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And they've recovered, here's an important number, more than $2 billion, maintaining Alex's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
All right, so we will get to the Auburn recruiting discussion in a moment, and then all the fanfare around Alabama in just a second. We'll walk through individually. But I just want, before Forster starts giving us videos and all of the graphics to go with the stuff we put together this morning for Alabama, Andrew Bone, friend of the show, works at On3 Sports. He tweets this out. 22 years Andrew has been covering Alabama recruiting. 22 years. That's a lot of recruiting.
Yep.
He says, quote, "This 10-day stretch Alabama just finished may have been the best 10-day stretch I've seen in Alabama recruiting in my 22 years." He says, now, there have been many number one classes under Nick Saban, but as far as a 10-day stretch, 6 top 100 selections, 4 5-star guys, all in a little 10-day pocket there. That's from Andrew Bone on 3 Sports. If you missed it, couple of 5-stars since we last did our show. I don't know which one you're going to pop up first there, Forrester, WSFA.
This one was interesting.
Rosie Langello, barber chair
That
cover.
does not look too safe.
And then they walk out. There we go.
Fire hazard lights.
I mean, you remember Great White when they were in the bar in New Jersey.
Indoor pyrotechnics.
Sendarian Morgan is that kid from Benjamin Russell down in Alexander City, Alabama. This kid is a projected early NFL draft pick when he eventually gets to that age. He brings that kind of skill set to Tuscaloosa. He could have gone anywhere he wanted to go, and he picked Alabama as a 5-star wide receiver. Big frame, high points of football, as good as anybody according to the On3 scouts, and he's a big stud. Then they got Jaira Edwards from St. Francis up in Maryland, a 5-star safety, punishing defender according to the On3 scouts. Big physical body. Eventually has the according to the services, the ability to be a first-round NFL draft pick, first-day pick when he gets to that point. So 2 big studs, giving Alabama now 5 5-star commitments in this recruiting class. And there's the list from rivals. Sendarian Morgan, Jaira Edwards. We've already showed you Edmonds and Griffin and Crowell before we got to the holiday weekend. Why do you think it's working so much?
Well, look, over the last 2 calendars, we've had big college brands play for the national championship. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, and Washington. I joke when I say Washington. I would love to see what the star makeup of guys coming out of high school that were playing for Kalen DeBoer 2 years ago when Washington actually won the Pac-12, played for a national championship. My point being, when he took this job, we all remember well, hey, look, he might know how to coach, but can he recruit? Can he recruit in the South? I think he is showing exactly what he can do. And the scary thing is if he's that good at Washington with what was probably 3 and 4 stars, what's he going to be able to do with maybe the nation's best recruiting class?
Yeah, I mean, that because you say 5 5-stars, the next closest is 2, obviously, so they're loading up on these 5-stars. Could I also, and I've seen some people say this.
Don't blow by what you just said. Brownie just said the closest in recruiting classes is teams with 2. Oregon, LSU, Texas, and Ohio State have 8 combined, each hit with 2. Yeah. And Alabama's got 5. Now, it's a long way to December. That's what we always have to put in fine print. Long way to December.
I mean, yeah, you got to sign them all. You got to keep people from flipping them. But there again, you might get flips if people flip them. Who knows? But what I was going to say is, do you think there is, and I've seen people say this, and I'm curious if you guys would agree. So these kids that are committing now are 17 and 18 years old, right? What started 17 to 18 years ago?
Nick Saban. I've said this a long time.
Yeah, I mean, is this reaping the benefits of Alabama was the national program for the better part of the formative years of all these kids or all these teenagers?
They're doing this thing where they go to 50 states in 50 days on SportsCenter, and Alabama was one of the days, maybe in the day we started
July
our vacation.
1st, I think, yeah.
So in Alabama, they put up a graphic during, I watched some of that SportsCenter, and they put up a graphic that Alabama is one of the more recognized brands in sports in the country. in a survey they did, and the polls, how they did it scientifically. And that's because Americans love winners, and they won a lot in a little period of time. And as I've said a lot, and I know you're saying it right here, they won so much when these kids were kids.
That's right. Yeah,
right?
When these teenagers were kids, Lance, in their formative years, this was the national program. This was it. It was the one that was on TV. It looked fun to play there. They were wearing everybody out. They were lifting trophies left and right. I mean, it's hard to in a lot of ways, you're probably a Dodgers fan because they were winning, right?
My whole fandom's weird because I went straight L.A.
You did. Well, which was your first one?
Which team?
Yeah.
The Lakers and the Rams.
Yeah.
But then the Dodgers just
Right. But
kind
the
of
Lakers,
seasonally went into that.
I mean, the Lakers were winning.
Oh, they were winning, yeah.
They were easy to cheer for, right?
But, I think Dunaway's kind of like this. Like, I love not cheering for the favorite.
I know.
And that's another thing about our society. Like, society, as much as they like winners, they hate winners.
Yeah, but
they do eventually.
But
Yes.
you're right about that. But you weren't playing; you were just cheering. If I'm playing, I'm looking at that. I'm like, dang, that's fun right there.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, they're into the crowds, into it. Place is packed. They're up 35-3. This is a fun offense. This is a dominating defense. And I'm a 10, 11, 12-year-old, and I envision myself in that. It's hard sometimes to get people off that.
But for Ryan Day and Steve Sarkisian and Kirby Smart, it's easy to say, hey, look, they were great, but guess who ain't there?
That's right.
Yeah, this guy's talking about us on Saturdays. He's not talking about Alabama.
That's what they're selling. Now, to your point, if DeBoer wins with this group, then it could potentially just begin to snowball even more. Like, oh, it wasn't just that Nick Saban guy. It's that school.
I wish almost with NIL now you had to release the details. Like Texas Tech makes recruiting fun because they put the numbers with it.
Yeah, I did some phone calls, did some research on this to find out why it's working. And I will tell you that I think they may guard their formula of how they're putting together recruiting classes closer than they do their playbook. I think they'd be more willing to open up their playbook and show you how we like to run a pass route than how we're putting together recruiting with a combination of rev share and NIL. But I'll tell you, two of the people I talked to, Aaron Suttles of Yale, Alabama, and Bam and Bourbon, Clint Lamb of CoverCrimson.com, but then some other people closer to the program behind the scenes. And here is a couple of common threads I got here. They've got a smaller board than most programs have of Alabama's level, that they have narrowed their board down to a smaller group of athletes. And as Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer did at Washington, they hit that smaller board heavy in the relationship department. In fact, I was told if you look before, back to April, they don't add any new people on their board after April. They've either been recruiting you all along or they're not going to recruit you because it's so relationship-based. And they've got positions slotted out on how much they're going to be willing to pay this position, much like the NFL. And they've, we know Alabama's not going to have the top NIL money, right? But with the rev share and the NIL money they have this plan worked out where they can spend heavy on these five-star guys, and they believe through relationships, they fill out the class, and then the evaluation of the 3 stars that they believe should be rated a lot higher. That's how they get their recruiting class. It's only ranked 5th right now, by the way, with 5 stars. It's only 5th in the overall rating.
Do you know?
Well, some of it is numbers.
Well, they got 19 commits.
Yeah, some of them are numbers.
Seems pretty solid with that many 5-stars.
Yeah, like USC's number 1, Lance. They got 31. 20 of those are 4-stars. I mean, that's a lot of really good players in there.
Yeah.
Where's Texas Tech?
Should be around 10 or 11.
And
not on 3.
This Felix Ojo, this offensive tackle, who wasn't even the top offensive tackle, signs a 3-year guaranteed $5.1 million deal. I mean, is that not crazy?
It's insane, isn't it?
A 17-year-old offensive tackle out of Texas going to Texas Tech for $5.1 million?
Texas Tech is 22nd, which historically you're like, it's pretty good for Texas Tech.
It
but
is.
now spending that kind of money, I want a little better than 22nd.
Yeah, but to get a class, you can't just spend on a few guys. You got to have a class. They've got a plan that they stick to, and it's working. And right now, Alabama with 5 5-star guys, but you throw in a 4-star like Nolan Wilson, who's who picked Alabama, a big defensive lineman. They've done well in state. They've done well out of state. They've done well on offense. They've done well on defense. It's just been an impressive run of recruiting, as Andrew Bone said, a 10-day run, unlike any he's ever seen. Now, the flip side of that, we'll talk about at least the perception of Auburn after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors, including our friends at Hemp Hill, that brings you Lance's Lock every day. Tell us about Lance's Lock.
The weather has been brutally hot, and you want to make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. By the way, Lance's Lock, we split 2-2 yesterday. More Major League Baseball action up and available. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience the plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And our friends, Brownie, at Bojangles, getting you ready for a lunch today.
That's right. It can be bow time. Everybody loves good dipping sauce, right? Bojangles has those, from sweet to heat, 7 sauces that will add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with those sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you want smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic bow sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Now, we're actually going to hear from Hugh Freeze and Auburn Athletic Director John Cohen in a second. They were at the Ambush event, a little Auburn recruiting weekend, fundraiser weekend, in just a second. But first, I want a little take on perception or reality here. When you see Golf Digest, I'll say it again, when you see Golf Digest send out this over a holiday weekend, by the way, congratulations to Golf Digest celebrating 75 years. The Auburn football, this is Golf Digest. The Auburn football program is having recruiting issues that some are blaming on its coach for playing too much golf. And then you have Lane Kiffin, who pulls up a picture from May of a celebration of a big Ryder Cup Country Club championship, and tweets over the weekend, "Great job, coach. Game is on fire right now."
Such a
Lane Kiffin trolling Hugh Freeze about his golf game right now. How much is of this golf and recruiting flip-flop and sort of a flat line right now in Auburn recruiting? How much is this is perception? How much of it is reality right now? Who wants to go first? Ryan Lance.
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but I'll say some reality. I mean, I assume when you're not here, you're playing golf. It's just time consuming. And it's one of the reasons I don't like playing. I do not like being stuck somewhere for 5 hours. This guy can't be recruiting at a high level if he's playing all the time. Look, the other side, these guys need time off. But when you're playing as much as Hugh is playing, and it's documented, and by the way, this will be the summer of 2025 where coaches will stop,
posting their handicap.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to, because now this is almost like tracking the plane. People are going to be looking. If a guy starts struggling, it's going to be every angle. Well, I wonder if he plays too much golf.
No, it's at some point, Jim, perception becomes reality, whether it is or not, right? I mean, like if the entire, well, not entire, but if a large portion of the fan base and a big portion of boosters think you're not doing enough, golf aside, you're just not recruiting well enough, whether it's your fault or not, you're the head coach, and the perception becomes reality. It becomes the head coach's fault. Now, is there too much golf? I don't know. There sure has been a lot of attention paid to that, and I'm with Lance. I think if coaches didn't realize that the Gen handicap system is public knowledge, they've learned it this summer, and they're going to quit posting their scores or do it under a different name, which you can always do, by the way.
I mean, like Mike Norvell. Does anybody know if he plays?
I'll look him up.
I mean, and the only reason I ask is, boy, things have changed, right? And it would be really interesting to see if Mike Norvell, all of a sudden, I'm just throwing out a random name out there for a big program that has struggled. But if you start seeing your coach that is making $8 to $10 million, they go 8-5, and you see that they're playing golf all of the time. I mean, we look for excuses for guys to be struggling and
right.
Something's going on.
Yeah. But I made this comparison today on Dusty and Danny on Sirius XM that Nick Saban, while he was coaching at Alabama, famously went home on the bye weekend to celebrate his birthday and got his first ever hole-in-one playing golf in between a game bye week, and LSU coming up, and we know how every game between Alabama and LSU was during Saban's years, and he went home and played golf.
Okay, and he went crazy when he made that hole-in-one because he didn't want people talking about it. Like, that was one of the things. He didn't want it to be public because he knew that if he loses to LSU, then people are going to start saying, well, Nick Saban was playing golf. And the difference is Nick Saban was winning national championships.
He was winning. He could have gotten away with it. He could have been like, I played all the golf I want to play. Yeah. And nobody wants anybody to say because you're winning.
Yeah, and if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm pissed. I'm like, we've got 2 sub-500 years of money we are paying you, and all you're doing is playing golf? Get your head out of your ass and start recruiting.
What can you do, though? I mean, you can't recruit nonstop, can you? I mean, 4 hours in the morning, go play, and then you go into the office and work an 8-hour day, or work an 8-hour day and then go play golf?
Do you feel like, well, I'll just give you where's that On3? I'll pull it back up again. Here's On3. You tell me if you feel like these guys are recruiting nonstop. Lincoln Riley, he's number 1. They've got 31 commitments. Kirby Smart, he's number 2. He's got 27 commitments. Mike Elko's number 3. He's got 24 commitments. Marcus Freeman's number 4. He's got 25 commitments. Kalen DeBoer's number 5. He's got 19 commitments. Ryan Day, number 6. Brian Kelly, Dan Lanning.
You know what all those guys have in common? All they care about is football. And Lincoln Riley, maybe there was a perception a little bit different, but he knows it is do or die right now. I don't know if Hugh cares. I think that's perception. I mean, Lincoln Riley, you name all those guys. I don't look at any of them other than Kirby Smart and think maybe Dan Lanning. And only because they have ties to Nick Saban. I don't look at any of those guys and think of them as grinders. I never look at Lincoln Riley and think of Lincoln Riley as a grinder. That's the one that jumped out that was not maybe the grinder. All the other guys, Brian Kelly seems like a grinder.
Yeah, Brian Kelly does.
He does not
Mike
to me.
Elko seems like a grinder.
Brian Kelly does not seem like a grinder to me.
So?
No.
What do you think that guy does for fun?
I don't know, but I don't think he's always in the office.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I don't.
And the same with Elko.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and Kalen DeBoer, obviously he's doing it well, but when I think of Kalen DeBoer, I think of a good family guy, right? I think he spends time with his wife and his kids. I don't know. I don't. Nick Saban, because of the image that was portrayed of him, made it sound like he was always 24 hours a day, 365. He was always working. And the assistant coaches would tell you that was the case. He made us show up for work the day after Christmas or Christmas afternoon. The rest of them, I don't picture Lane Kiffin grinding. Do you?
Not Kiffin so much, but everybody he named on that list outside of Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
I do.
Who's number 1?
You picture Josh Heupel grinding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah,
a little bit.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we have these perceptions of some guys and not of others.
Yeah.
Like, do you picture Sark as a grinder?
No, I don't.
You don't?
But that is, to me, it's just the media perception that you've created for yourself. It is the profile you created for yourself, and now Hugh Freeze has created this profile that he's not a grinder, that he's a golfer.
Yeah. But that's fact.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if it's fact or not.
You can't be a grinder.
That's the public perception.
If you play that much golf, you cannot be a grinder. You can't.
It depends on the profession you're in. But in that profession, I agree with Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the truth of that profession, and it's what that profession has become.
Well, I mean, no offense. It's not like, guys that play. I mean, are we talking about you guys?
No, I'm just saying each profession is different. I'm just, I know guys.
Give me a profession that you can grind and play golf.
Financial investment. I mean, I'll go back to Hugh Freeze. Okay, so what if one of his rounds is with 3 big Auburn businessmen who are going to support the NIL? What if another one of his rounds is with the guy who runs IMG, a guy who runs their football coaches? What if another one is with
if he's closing a bunch of bit, but obviously it's not equating to getting recruits.
No. But what I'm saying is not every profession requires the grind that college football coaching requires. That's my point there. Yeah, so in some professions, you can grind and still have 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon to play.
Yeah, that is not a 40-hour job.
Yeah. No, and that was my point there, Lance, is that college football requires. I mean, here's the truth of it.
And I'm just going to volley this to you before you make your truth right here, okay?
We're watching Wimbledon right here.
Slap this one back at you real quick.
Yeah.
Steve Spurrier, grinder or not a grinder?
Not a grinder.
one of the more successful coaches in college
Some guys
football
can do
history,
it.
and a great recruiter.
Yeah, but you if you're having success, you can get away with not being a grinder.
That's right.
That's the problem.
And Spurrier was an exceptional X's and O's guy that made up for some of that lack of grind.
Okay.
There are going to be exceptions to every rule. Here's the truth of it. Never, you try not to use those words. What a lot of football fans say they want is a coach that's a good representative of their university, good family man, some say Christian, if that's important to them, doesn't embarrass them, wins games.
There you go. You put that one last, though.
But that's what they say, though. I'm just saying that's what they say they want. Here's what they really want. A guy that wins games and is a football robot.
Yeah.
And I understand he's going to have to sacrifice some of his family so that I could take my family to the game and enjoy football and winning, but that's the sacrifice he chose to make, so I want a robot. That's what they really want, but they hate to say that because it sounds awful. It sounds awful to say, I hope a guy sacrifices some of his family so that he can win football games. But unfortunately, that's a lot of times what college football, we've seen it many times, what college football coaches have to do.
Oh, yeah.
They have to sacrifice some of their family life so they can win games.
You talked about Kalen DeBoer. I agree. I think Kalen DeBoer seems like a really good family guy, but it's almost like the Bill Snyder, Bob Stoops tree, where when they're not grinding, the only thing they're doing is spending time with the family. Hugh, at least it seems on the surface, when he's not doing football, is playing golf.
Yeah. How many coaches go into the College Football Hall of Fame or they get interviewed when they retire or whatever? How many of them do you hear say, listen, I got to thank my wife, first of all, because there's a lot of times she was a single parent. I hear that all the time from college football coaches.
Yeah, you guys will give me, it's impossible to be a really good coach, play a lot of golf, and see your family a lot. It's impossible. There's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah. I think perception is a lot of this. And then, is it golf why Auburn's not closing? Is it something else?
Hey.
We'll hear from Hugh Freeze. Yeah. We'll hear from John Cohen coming up on the other side here, Brownie.
I do know this real quick, that Bob Stoops back in the day when he was winning big, Stoops was a big winner at Oklahoma. He would send his staff home. Now, I don't know if this was his entire time, but for a time at Oklahoma, he would send his staff home in July. He would say, I don't want to see you in the office. You take your vacation now. You spend time with your family. If a recruit – I think they would have one guy in the office in case a recruit
That's when it was easier, though.
Yeah. I do think it was easier.
Had a cycle,
then.
and now it's just
– He got that from Spurrier
stop.
When he worked for Spurrier at Florida. That's how Spurrier did it.
But to Lance's point, as the calendar changed in the NCAA, there was never that month anymore. Yep. You don't have that month anymore.
Yep. Spurrier did it that way. Dabo does it that way.
He does.
Do y'all think Dabo's a grinder?
I would not put him in the grinder category,
no.
But he's been successful.
Yeah. He's been successful. I think Dabo grinds, but
do you?
I mean, as far as doing his job, but I think he also makes time for his family, and he makes sure the coaches make time for their family.
Yeah, my whole thing is the perception is bad when you're not winning and getting paid amount you're getting paid.
Well,
I mean, if Hugh's not playing golf, we're not talking about this.
No, the fans are always going to look for something to complain about. If you're recruiting, and they're 80th right now at On3 in the group of places you don't want to be as far as recruiting schools go.
Tell us more about where they are when we come back on the other side. We'll actually hear from the ambush comments because what Hugh actually says is pretty interesting as well. The show being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Hey, stay on top of your health, guys, as we work our way to the back half of this year. Make sure you're taking care of your health with early detection with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. It can literally save your life. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. 16 locations. 35 urologists standing by, kidney stones to prostate health, everything in between. If you get to that point in your life, you want a vasectomy, they handle that. Just check out everything they have to offer and set your appointment, 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. And our friends at Odie's, where they're coming off a big musical weekend.
Odie's Tavern, great place to go for lunch or dinner. Odie's Team Trivia every single Wednesday. Me and Brown will be out there. The original location in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis at both. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. It's a Birmingham institution. Get in to see Will Haven, that great staff. 2 locations, Odie's Tavern.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the Next Round as we do show number 986. We're only 47 days away from week 0. Kansas State, Iowa State in Dublin in week 0. Farmageddon over in Ireland. I forgot that was what that game was called, Farmageddon. Yeah, I remember before we were watching the Georgia Tech-Florida State game at the Floribama last year, and I remember they had it on the ribbon, but they hadn't announced it yet, but in the stadium it was on the ribbon boards. I was like, did that just say Kansas State, Iowa State the game next year? So, yeah, Farmageddon Of course, that seems like yesterday we were saying that, and here we go. We're only 47 days away from that one.
Yeah, I mean, either one of those teams wins the Big 12. Nobody's surprised. That's a hell of an early season matchup.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Lance, the best Week 0 Ireland game we've had. I know that's kind of a narrow market there, but
it was probably last year the way it played out with Georgia Tech and Florida State. But
as far as quality of teams, this one feels better. Yeah.
Notre Dame Navy was a blowout. I think they played a couple of times over there. I don't know who all's played there, but
BC and Georgia Tech played there.
Did they really?
Yeah, it hasn't been good games.
Yeah, this is a good one. I look forward to that. We'll talk Big 12 football later on. Their media day starts tomorrow in Frisco. The show today being brought to you by our friends at New Life Art. If you're looking for some great moments in college football history, you can get them always from Daniel A. Moore. Just go to danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com, and look at everything that they have to offer right there. Promo code TNR. It includes the legend, Nick Saban, some basketball prints, and new stuff coming out always right there at danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com. Okay, back to the recruiting conversation we're having. What's the chat room saying about?
Oh, boy.
A lot, I imagine.
They got a lot on this one.
We started the show, first 15 minutes, with Alabama's great success, unparalleled 10-day stretch, according to Andrew Bone, who's covered Alabama recruiting for 22 years. And then there's the Auburn perception with Golf Digest calling out the number of rounds Hugh Freeze played, which I think was 11 in June, 8 in May, which doesn't sound like a lot to me. But, of course, I've played 8 rounds since last Tuesday.
You have not.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
He was just running through it. You didn't hear him earlier?
No.
I told him he played more than the guys on tour this last week.
I played 36 holes yesterday.
Boy, it would be gun to head to play 36 holes for me.
I rolled out, left the house yesterday morning at 6:30 and got home last night about 7:15.
I love a good 36-hole day. I've done 27 recently.
But, I mean, that shows you that it's impossible to do anything else in a day if you're playing that much golf.
Well, 36 is a lot.
Maggie and I had dinner on the veranda last night when I got home. She had prepared a nice little
she was like, if you leave for all day, I will make you dinner.
That's right.
Let's get the hell out of here.
I'll spend all day cooking.
I had a nice soak in the tub.
No, don't tell us
that. That was without Maggie, right?
That was without Maggie.
Right, just to
she was
clear
preparing
that up.
dinner. I was trying to recover from 36 holes. You were about to make a point. Chat room. Auburn fans there?
We've got a lot of Auburn talk in that, and it might make more sense. I think you might want to play Hugh Freeze here first before we go to the Auburn talk.
Okay, so here from WSFA, Rosie Langello and the fine folks down there in Montgomery, the ambush event, which happened last week. Here's Hugh Freeze he gets asked about the slow start to recruiting. Listen to his answer.
It does seem kind of strange that we're like some of the lowest range of numbers. I mean, we're like, really, really low compared to some, and I'm trying to figure that out. But I do think it'll shake out in the long run. But it is complicated and hard to sit there and feel great about. But I feel great about our relationships, and I feel great about Auburn, and I know the families know that, and I do think just after we win games this fall, which I'm confident we will, I think it'll all kind of shake itself out.
Well, that was far from reassuring.
That's what I'd say. He was not convincing at all.
Wow.
Probably shake yourself out.
I'm trying to figure that out. I wish I knew. I mean, that was far from real. And I know it was one soundbite for one question in an entire press conference or whatever that was. But that answer was far from reassuring.
Yeah, but he knew that question was going to come.
Yeah.
Because it was a planned media event. You can see the set down with the backdrop and all that going on. His boss is sitting next to him. We'll hear from John here, cut two, in just a second, his athletic director. But it's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair statement. I think the teams that are doing well right now have it figured out. Some of them can just throw all the money in the world at it. I think Alabama's not necessarily in that case, but I think they have a pretty good, as of July 1, model with the rev share and the NIL money and how that works together. The relationship thing is what is concerning a little bit because he likes the relationships, he says. But they had, 2 or 3 flips over the last half a month, sort of during the time that Alabama and some others have boosted up a little bit. And then he instantly made it sound to me, and tell me if you guys heard it too, like, don't expect this to change anytime over the next 47 days, when we start winning games in the fall,
it'll shake
itself out.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of disturbing. I mean, you go back to media days last year where we heard this was the year where everything was going to come together. Obviously, the wins and losses haven't come together, but from our time with Hugh in the Coca-Cola room over in Greystone at Regions to the comments right there, it just doesn't seem like there's any urgency, and it just seems kind of ho-hum. And look, Hugh does not strike me as a Brian Harsin who completely tapped out on the program. But, man, between those comments we got from Hugh back in May and the comments we just heard and where the results are right now, not only on the field but recruiting, if I'm an Auburn fan, I don't know what I'm thinking today.
I would say this. I think it's fact. I think they got a pretty good roster this year. I think they can win some football games. If the quarterback pans out, I think they're a good football team. You guys agree?
But do you think give me good. What is good for Auburn? 9?
8 to 9 wins.
So you think 8 to 9 wins is going to swing a recruit's head? I'm just talking. I'm addressing what he's saying. I'm not arguing with you. I think Auburn could win 8 or 9 games as well. But how many recruits are going to say, hey, they won 9 games?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. I mean, I don't see that strategy working, but I'm not a college football
I think
coach.
the only strategy that works is you got to pay them if you're Auburn right now.
And that was going to be my other point is they spent some money in this free agency to get the team that they're putting on the field. They spent some money on Jackson Arnold. They spent some money on 2 tackles to come in. They spent some money in the portal to bring in this portal class that they brought in. I don't think you can, at a place like Auburn, you can tap out money, but did they spend money in the portal that they needed to save for this recruiting class? If you had a choice, which way do you play that? I need to win now if I'm Hugh Freeze.
I'm winning now. I'll tell you, this is another example of how passionate our state is. But when you're floating in a lake and people are talking about Alabama and Auburn and the records and what does Hugh need to do
you heard
to
that
save
this
his
weekend?
job? Yeah. And I said, look, I think 8-4, because if you've got a 5-game improvement, I think he's going to be okay. But if he was to go 8-4 and get completely shellacked by Georgia and Alabama at home, then it might be a different conversation, right? I mean, the 8-4s can look a little different.
It's a small sample size, but the Auburn fans I've been around recently, a lot of them are very frustrated about this situation right now. They don't, whether Auburn has a good strategy or not, and apparently their strategy is, the way I understand what Auburn is saying their strategy is, and I don't know if this is what John Cohen's about to talk about here, is we think a lot of schools are overpromising and will not be able to pay the bill, and we're going to be the beneficiary of that because we're going to be a little more. We're going to be safer in our approach. Is that the way you understand what they're saying?
But to your point, though, the 8-4, like you've got to win now. Did they put all this money into the roster they've currently got? Well, if it's 8-4 and we spent a lot of money on 8-4, that's not good enough to me.
I'm still disappointed.
I want
right?
Kirk Cignetti, seriously, what he did at Indiana last year. I want Rhett Lashley, what he did, what Kenny Dillingham did. I don't want 8-4 if I'm an Auburn fan, especially if it looks like, man, we put everything in. Now, we're going to take a dip for the next couple of years because we hadn't had the money for recruiting. That doesn't work for me.
I want you to hear from John Cohen here after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at New York Butcher Shop LT. Oh, man.
Boy, I got some great pork chops from there.
How good was that butt?
I never got one of the butts. He said he sold out, said he appreciates all the next round viewers and listeners going in and getting one of those 4th of July Boston butts. I picked up a couple of steaks on Friday night. Absolutely fantastic. I'm actually going to pick up some of the meatballs. I'm doing a butternut squash ravioli tonight with meatballs.
Get out of town.
Yeah,
with
this fresh gravy that he's got some really good gravy at the New York Butcher Shop. You can pick all this stuff up, though. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
And our buddy Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. He and his sons and sons-in-laws and his wife Andrea, their whole family has built that organization. They're locally owned for over 20 years. He'll give you a free, no-cost roof inspection if you call that number, 205-542-3531. A-plus rated, as I said, free no-cost roof inspection, full roof replacements, roofing repairs, storm damage repairs. It is all right there. And really great relationships with insurance providers. That helps you tremendously. We're all thinking of Greg and his family this weekend. They had a a little loss of life in their family over the weekend. We're thinking of them. They're having a ceremony this morning. So our thoughts and prayers to Greg from Pell City Storm Restoration Roofing, one of the good guys that are out there. All right, back to the Auburn recruiting. Here's the athletic director, John Cohen, at the same ambush news conference that you just heard Hugh Freeze. This is the athletic director, Hugh's boss, sitting at the same table. Here's the AD.
August 1 is the first date that a prospective student athlete can receive an offer on paper. Okay, that's a big day. It's not rumor, it's not innuendo, it's not this person says this, it's an offer on paper. We're a good distance away from August the 1st, and we're a really good distance away from December.
Okay, so that's the athletic director. So he's making it sound like
You're less than a month from August 1st. Go ahead.
He's making it sound, though, like some of these commitments have been made with promises, and the actual time to sign the paper on August the 1st, the offer may not look the same. That's basically what
that's
he's saying,
the
right?
innuendo, yeah, or the suggestion or whatever. And that's what I was saying is they're at least they're selling. We're doing a more proactive approach here. We're going to take this slower, and when August 1st gets here, you'll see. And I guess if August 1st is a really big day, Lance, if you don't start seeing results August 1st, then you can sure panic, right? I mean, is that what I hear?
I mean, that's what it sounded like.
Right? I mean, like between August 1st
and by the way, that's not far. We're 3 weeks away.
We're 3 weeks away, yeah. And some of that is going to be camp, by the way, opening soon after that. Our Stews, to go from a top 10 class, 2 top 10 classes in a row to basically losing this many recruits falling on your face is not a good look. I hope Freeze and Cohen know what they're doing. LT Gray says, I agree with LT. I'm aggravated by Hugh in this recruiting situation, especially after the Harsin disaster. It's always going to be, boy, when you get in that same sentence as Harsin.
Well, I mean, just some of the wording, and Hugh might not mean this. You know, I think we all, not everyone, but I think some people, the comments back on the 6 wins, I'm not stupid, people interpreted that a little bit differently. I think people are probably interpreting Hugh saying this will all shake out a little differently. I see them both kind of the same, and both to me are kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Freeze and Cohen, quote, could be right. These schools that are landing these recruits could be promising something they won't deliver in the end. But are you going to know that August 1? I mean, again, I guess once I slide a sheet of paper across to a 5-star or 4-star, and it's not what you promised me, but here's what I would say. If you're Alabama or Ohio State or USC or any of these schools that are up there, what benefit is it to right now promise something you can't deliver? How does that benefit me? Can you guys help me on that one? I mean, let's just use Alabama. All right, they got 5 stars, right? Let's say they've promised all 5 of those something that on August 1st they're not going to be able to deliver. That's going to be a disaster. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
What's the benefit right now to be number 5 in recruiting, and then on August 1st when you have to hand over a sheet of paper, every one of those guys flips somewhere else? That's going to be worse than the
unless you're assuming half are going to flip and you're going to be able to keep half with that kind of money you promised.
Maybe it.
I don't think
it could be a numbers game is what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't think that'll be the situation in the new era we have in the rev sharing. I think everyone is when it comes to your rev share, I think everyone's dealing on the up and up, and the NIL, I guess, is still, almost a promissory note.
Yeah.
I don't think the Alabama recruiting class will change. I don't think these guys will flip away.
And I was just using Alabama because they had 5 stars. I mean, they've got the most 5 stars. Brody asked this question: if Auburn goes 9-3, but they're 65th in recruiting, how does that feel? How does Auburn feel?
9-3, but 65th in recruiting.
I mean, not great, but still 9 is. I mean, that's a big improvement. It's a 4-game improvement.
But see, I go back to perception, right? At that point, I'm selling. Listen, the results are on the field. 9-3. We're in a different era. You can throw out looking at On3. In fact, On3 and Rivals, I don't even know why they keep up with recruiting anymore. It's about assembling a roster year in and year out. So
I mean, I would say the same thing. Like Arizona State and Iowa State, they both played for the Big 12 championship. What do you think their recruiting classes on average were going into that game?
In the 30s.
What I'm gonna do as your head coach is we're gonna win football games. I'm not gonna win.
That's
recruiting.
all I really care
I'm gonna
about.
let somebody else worry about that. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put together a roster every year to go win football games because that's all you can do now. Congratulations on having the 5th best recruiting class in the country. If half of that class is in the portal at the end of next year. And that's the reality we live in now.
Exactly.
You may get a great recruiting class, but if you don't hold on to them and they're gone to the portal the next year, what good is that great recruiting class? It's about putting together a roster right now.
Yeah, look, the recruiting, real quick, Brown, it doesn't mean anything to me as long as you're winning games. When I start to get a little concerned is when you're going 6-7 and 5-7. And then the recruiting's not good.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be something good. Either you're winning games or recruiting at a high level.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Something I can hang my hat on. Love the blue. Auburn will be in the 20s in recruiting when all is said and done, and this current roster is loaded. So that will be good enough, he says.
And see, that's what it's all about. It's the reason recruiting rankings used to matter. You know, you'd look at 3 years because you'd have the graduating class or those leaving early for the NFL. And that was the only way in reality you had to backfill with talent. So if your recruiting had dipped off, you were going to have some down years because you're losing and you're backfilling with recruiting. Well, now with the portal, it's totally different. Not only are you losing more, you can also bring in more. So I think the year-in, year-out recruiting matters less. I'm more excited about what Alabama's doing at the top end than necessarily where they end up in the recruiting. I want these 5-star guys that Alabama's brought in that you're telling me, okay, those guys are going to be drafted on day 1 of the NFL draft. Okay, I can go to battle with those guys, and let's hold on to those, and we'll backfill the guys who are going to play around the superstars.
Stanley says they're not just whiffing on 5-star guys. They're losing long-time commits to Kentucky and FSU. Something ain't right. The receiver to Kentucky was puzzling to me. Not that he left Auburn, but that he went to Kentucky.
Yeah, like, I mean,
why do you go to Kentucky, Lance?
I have no idea. But it's amazing when you look at the quarterbacks every year that are going to Kentucky, some of the skill guys they get, and it just doesn't equate to it. It's the same terrible offense year in, year out.
We're in a different era, though. A school can overpay for a player. 5-star wide receiver went to Syracuse over the weekend. You know, if you're a 5-star guy, Syracuse isn't usually where you're rolling in.
But you know what people are saying about that? I saw somebody wrote about Fran Brown, like that guy is apparently, by Syracuse standards, tearing it up in recruiting.
Oh, yeah. He was one of Kirby's best recruiters at Georgia.
So you let him win a little bit at Syracuse. I wonder what the market for Fran Brown is.
It's gonna be. I mean, look,
because you don't stay at Syracuse,
and I'll tell you what conference he'll be coming to. The SEC.
Well, he's got an attitude you like if he's your guy.
Yeah, he's a dog.
And if he's not your guy, when he starts winning, he's going to be one of these guys that's probably not very likable. You know what? Fran Brown might be in the mix for, a job down on the plains if Hugh doesn't turn this thing around.
Maybe so. I mean, if he can recruit like that at Syracuse, give him an SEC job.
I mean, I will guarantee you if it doesn't work out with Hugh, and look, for anybody that thinks, I think we're all three pulling for Hugh. I like Hugh.
I like Hugh.
Hugh's a
I like
fun
Kalen
guy.
DeBoer. Yeah, I want them both to win.
I think he can coach. But I'll tell you, man, it needs to come together now. And Fran Brown is an interesting name, though.
He is 35th at On3, but that's Syracuse at 35th. I don't know when they've been that high in recruiting. And listen, and he's producing some on the field. Like that was his first year last year, right? Or was it his second year? First year. Let that guy win a little bit and see what kind of name he becomes with the recruiting added to it at Syracuse again.
Okay, viewing menu. We'll get to our 40 and 40 team in the next hour. We'll also talk to Brooks Austin coming up. Nick Kelly writes this today at AL.com. Hey, Alabama, it's good to be in the crimson and white. They will not have to. They'll get to celebrate 3 different championship teams this upcoming season in Tuscaloosa. Get used to this. It's going to be a trend for a while. They'll celebrate at a different game each year, this year, the 10-year anniversary of the 2015 national champion. They'll celebrate the 6-year anniversary of the 1965 national champion. And they also will honor the 1975 SEC championship team. That'll be honored as well this upcoming year. So 3 different teams back at Bryant-Denny Stadium for their seven home games. 3 of those will be a championship. And they also, according to Nick's story, against Louisiana Monroe, they'll have just a overall celebration and recognition of 100 years of Alabama football champions.
That's against Louisiana Monroe?
Yeah, Louisiana Monroe.
Just as a little reminder, like, I know y'all beat us here one time, but...
A 100-year celebration from the 25 national champion to this year, 100 years of championships. Wow. So 4 different championship celebrations going on over in Tuscaloosa from Nick Kelly, reporting that at AL.com today. Our friends at Weight of Wellness help you lose some weight. Before we get to our viewing menu, I'll tell you that a smooth 172 after losing a little weight yesterday on the golf course. For me, maintaining that weight loss with our friends at Weight of Wellness, it's not just about dropping the weight, it's about keeping it off, and they can help you with that as well. Check it all out, aplanforme.com. aplanforme.com. A variety of different ways that Leslie and her board-certified team can help you out. Injection therapy to protein bars that I enjoy here between meals to help me eat healthier. Also, they've got meal replacements in a variety of different ways. Every plan is different. No cookie cutter plan, no contract, no sign-up fees. And that first consultation is free. Great people, a great plan. It'll work for you. Aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. It's Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living. And Michelson bringing you our viewing menu.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She is going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mort Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. I got the procedure done in 2003. Still have 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
We've got another mystery movie at AMC tonight. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 33 minutes. And it's most likely this movie called Oh Hi. And it's about a new couple that goes on a weekend road trip, but things turn out unexpectedly. It's supposed to be misery, but as a comedy. So I don't know if it'll be good or not.
I'm betting no.
I'm betting no.
Yeah,
I'm betting I'll be there, though.
I would lean no as well.
Misery is a dark comedy, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
We've got a new Netflix documentary on sharks called All the Sharks. 4 teams of shark experts and enthusiasts travel the globe trying to find the most elusive shark species in this fantastic reality competition. So,
yeah, like the Greenland shark, the Wabagang. I mean, these are the sharks that aren't going to kill anybody, and so it's just not that fascinating to me. And I'm a shark freak, but I saw the preview on Netflix. Probably not going to do it. I did watch the Shark Whisperer with Ocean Ramsey, the chick.
Shark Whisperer?
Yeah. It was like an hour and 50-minute documentary, and it's the girl that swims in the ocean. You know, she does the open swimming with the great whites, with the tiger sharks. They're 3-4 times her size. She is going to get eaten. It's just a matter of time, and a lot of people in the documentary talk about it. She is playing with fire. And I decided to follow her on Instagram because, but then she posts like 4 or 5 times a day. It was one of those. The next day, I unfollowed. Can't do it. Too many posts.
Too much?
Yeah.
She sounds like the shark equivalent of that grizzly man guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what she is. And I will say it's impressive because, you know, I mean, she swims around with 3 or 4 at the same time and pushes down on their noses and stuff. But it's just a matter of time. She's going to get a rogue one. It's going to tear the ass out of her.
Yeah, she's going to catch one hungry. Yep.
And then finally, Max has added one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year, Sinners. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, you can now on HBO Max.
It is well worth the watch. But it was very good.
Sound design is great. Acting's great. The cinematography is well done. I like the color palettes they use.
I thought the writing from Ryan Coogler, I thought the script was really good.
Yeah. At the family gathering in Mentone, somebody brought up the F1 movie. And because of you, I was able to speak to it. I was like, listen, I think the plot was paper thin, but you've got to go see it in the theater because the sound and the experience is tremendous.
A lot of the chat room saw it over the weekend, and it's almost across the board 2 thumbs up. Now, a lot of people say plot has got some issues, but you got to get past that.
Paper thin. That's what Tyler said.
Well, somebody said, give Melton credit. He put it best. It's a Disney plot.
Yeah,
for an
it's
F1
a very
movie.
simple, familiar plot that you've seen done in different kinds of movies, but It all works.
Just
all
go
those
speed
character
down
archetypes fit.
459 today.
Just go open her up on 459.
My family, the extended family gathering, they were like, "Oh, so was it good? You see it?" And I was like, "No. I'm just repeating what
I feel like I did.
people I work with who actually saw it, just verbatim what they said on our show." That's our viewing menu brought to you by Michaels and our friends at JohnstonRVCenter.com.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. You're probably not going to hit F1 speeds in one of these, but you can go see America in them, an RV from Johnston RV Center. They got a price range for just about everyone as well. With approved credit as low as $129 a month, you can get in an RV from Johnston RV Center. Everything from the tow behinds to the fifth wheels, to the big motorhomes, all of that right there on the lot at Johnston RV Center. RV warranty forever. Make sure you got a lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. There's only one Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, a lot of other stuff going on other than recruiting, but that was a big part of the days we were off. So we talked a little Alabama on the positive side and Auburn on the wait-and-see side of recruiting out there. I mentioned Syracuse got a 5-star guy. Chauncey Kennan, a 5-star corner, picked Florida State. They're doing well in recruiting. And before we jump back into our 40 and 40 countdown, after taking a little break, we're into the top 5 all this week. The national championship contenders. My team that I picked to win it all may have hit a roadblock this weekend following an old Lance Taylor belief when it comes to someone who gets engaged in sports. I give you LSU starting quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, who got engaged over the weekend. Ella Springfield said, yes, I will marry
you, future NFL quarterback.
You, Garrett Nussmeier. Down on a knee. Hopefully he takes a few victory formations this year for LSU, says Bengal Tiger fans.
Yeah, I wonder if that thing holds if he has a Carson Beck year. If he struggles a little bit. I mean, she's getting it on the front end, so it's true love right now. Of course, he's probably, I don't know, what do you think he's making this year?
Oh, I bet he's making good money. Oh, heck yeah. Quarterback at LSU. I've already seen him in a Raising Cane's commercial.
Yep.
It's only on social media. Have you seen it, Dunaway? I don't know. I bet Lance hasn't.
I have not seen it.
Because I saw it on TikTok, but it's Arch and who is in the front seat? It's Arch and Garrett Nussmeier in the Raising Cane's commercial. It's a pretty funny commercial. It's well done. It's just kind of.
Now, is it one of those where they have to point out who they are?
No. In fact, like
they're not wearing the jersey.
Yeah, pull over here, Arch Manning. Thank you, Garrett Nussmeier.
No, I just remember. Hey, it's Brian Aragpo from the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, the concept is I remember it now. Archie's driving. Arch is riding shotgun. Cooper is handing food out the window at Raising Cane's, and Garrett Nussmeier's in the back seat. And the joke is, oh, no, your dad already called in the order for you. Like, he's ordering, no, your dad's already called in the order. Basically, your dad's calling the play.
Now, who's driving?
Archie.
Okay.
And Arch is shotgun, and Garrett Nussmeier's in the back seat.
So if you believe in LT's long-standing philosophy on the show, an athlete that gets engaged and or married, sometimes
it throws the game off a little bit.
Does not live up to the expectations. There's another challenge for Brian Kelly, the grinder, to overcome. This hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Breakline Optics. Breakline, Brownie, tell us about the wonderful sunglass company there.
I had a little Breakline breaking news last hour. I don't know how big it is, but I'll go ahead and throw these on, and I'll leave them on afterwards.
Well, first of all, if it's breaking news and it was last hour, it obviously isn't that big.
Wow. Well, we were in the middle of a heated discussion.
Never stops you.
BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com. That is the website to go to. This is an Alabama company. These are local guys that they operate nationally, Breakline Optics. You can see their product in store if you want to go to Deep South Outfitters, but you can also shop online. You don't have to go in person, BreaklineOptics.com. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The lenses that I am wearing and the lenses I wear in Breakline are cast-molded, polarized Trivex lenses.
Mine too.
Everybody's are. I just threw out a lot of words there, and those words don't mean a whole lot to me, except that it tells me these are extremely durable lenses. Beat them with a hammer, you can't break them. These are quality glasses. They look great. They feel great. They're designed for the outdoors. So if you're a fisherman, if you just like to spend time on the lake, men and women, at the pool, at the beach, on the golf course, Breakline Optics are for you. BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com.
And our 40 and 40 countdown, always brought to you by the great folks at Champions Boxing. And they brought us one team every day, all the way up to number 5 today. Tell us about Champions, LT.
Hey, if you're looking for that unique workout, our friends at Champions Boxing, they are offering it up. You see some video right there from our friends at Champions. They are hosting the official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games, held right now in Birmingham. Here is some footage from it right there. But again, if you're anyone looking for a workout different from just throwing up a barbell, come check them out at Champions Boxing. Akash, Jake, Mailman, the fine folks there, boxing for fitness and competition, all ages starting at just 9 years old. Any former athletes looking to play another sport to compete in after high school or college, this could be perfect for you. They're located conveniently in Pelham, behind the Purple Onion. For more information on Instagram, at Champions Boxing AL, on Facebook, at Champions Boxing AL as well.
We're at number 5, the top 5 all week, leading us up to SEC Media Days, the final part of the poll voted on by you and us. At number 5, what's coming down the track, Brownie?
That drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan, Jim.
Yeah, the red and black, right?
The red and black coming down that track.
Georgia is number 5 in our ranking. Here's the ironic part. Not one first-place vote. The highest vote was number 2 by 2 folks, Patrick Phillips and Tommy Broadhead. Both had him winning the SEC at number 2. The lowest was David Wilson at 13. On the show, more respect from Scott Forrester with the 5th ranking. Ryan had him 6th. Taylor had him 7th. LT had him 8th. I had him 9th. Lance, why are we not believing Georgia can be the best team in the country this year?
My only problem with Georgia right now is the offensive line. If you could tell me how good this offensive line is going to be, protecting a really unproven quarterback in Gunnar Stockton, when you start to look at the skill, I think they've got as much skill as they got since their last national championship. You look at Noah Thomas coming in from Texas A&M, Zachariah Branch coming in from USC. You've already got Dylan Bell there. You've got Nate Frazier, who was really, really solid as a true freshman running back last year. I don't know about the quarterback. I assume Gunnar's going to be pretty good, but how good is the offensive line going to be? The defense is going to be, lights out again. I don't know about the offensive line.
What happened?
Got to replace 4 guys, by the way.
4 starters are gone.
Yeah, you're a USC fan. What happened to Zachariah Branch? Why did it just not?
His best game was his first game.
I know. That's what I'm asking. And after that,
it was really strange, Brown. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't fit. They tried to force some situations to get ball in hand, and I don't know. Really weird, because when the guy was in space, I
know. It's not that you can't say, well, he had crappy quarterback play. He didn't.
No,
he didn't have crappy quarterback play. I don't know. I don't know what happened with him. If I'm a Georgia fan, I'm very excited to get him because I've seen his potential. But I do ask the question, why did he not hit that potential at a place like USC?
And I think we're sleeping on Georgia a little bit. Like the more I look at the team,
you have them at 5.
I know. No, I'm talking about like you having them at 9, me having them at 8, Brown having them at 7. There's only so many SEC teams that can be in the top 5. So this is what's going to be so fascinating about this season with Texas and Georgia and LSU and Alabama. But when you start to look at the schedule, like if they can come out of September unscathed, there is no chance that they're not in the college football playoff.
Yeah, after that, it is a forgiving schedule. But they do have the back-to-back games with a bye week in between at Tennessee, which is a difficult place to play, 2:30 kick for that one. And then the primetime game at home against Alabama. And Kirby Smart has not been able to conquer that Alabama. He hadn't been able to slay that dragon in his time at Georgia with only the one win. It was an important one, but it's the only one he's gotten. That's the difference in them coming out unscathed or not. If they get past those 2 games, I'm with you, Lance. That schedule opens up after that.
I think they end up 10-2 the more I look at the schedule. Like, I don't know where the losses are. If I had to say, I would say Alabama, just based on the history of Kirby against Alabama. And then, maybe at Auburn, maybe Florida, maybe Texas.
They've owned Auburn. Another interesting 2-game stretch, and it's weird, both these 2-game stretches have a bye week in the middle. Hosting Ole Miss and then playing the cocktail party. I think those 2 interesting games. Now, the last time Ole Miss went to Sanford Stadium, it got away from them, but Ole Miss did beat them in Oxford last year. And I personally think Florida is going to be much better this year. I think that's a much more difficult game.
Miller, Hall, McLeod back on the defensive line. It's a Georgia calling card. So they'll be good. The linebackers are good. The secondary has NFL skill level there. So the defense should be fine. But isn't Georgia a lot like Alabama and Texas when it comes to our national championship expectations. Like, we think Texas will be really good if Arch Manning ends up being really good. We think Alabama will be really good if Ty Simpson ends up being really good, or whomever the quarterback is. Georgia will be pretty good if Gunnar Stockton is pretty good, but we don't know a whole lot about what Gunnar Stockton can do on a day in and day out basis as a starting quarterback, much like we don't know about Ty Simpson, much like we don't know about Arch Manning.
Oh, I think it's a slam dunk. Even with the 4 starters you got to replace on the offensive line, if you had a Stetson Bennett coming back, even a Carson Beck, I think they would probably be the favorite in the SEC. Last year was weird with the 3 losses. They end up winning the SEC, but it seemed like a failure of a year for Georgia.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Because of the postseason, it's very much created. Kirby created what Nick created over there in Georgia, that if it's not a national championship, you're probably a little disappointed. In fact, Kirby in this offseason has been preaching about getting hungry again. Here's Kirby Smart.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm comparing it against. I don't think I look at it and I could say, okay, there's 11 positions starting out there on defense. How many have a burning fire within them? I don't know, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it's not what I want it to be. And then offense, okay, I'm looking, and we talked about it the other day, I'm looking for a bonfire. I'm looking for not a bunch of little campfires. I'm looking for a bonfire. I'm looking to see an inferno of burning. Like, I have to be dominant, and the best teams have offenses and defenses that have passion and energy. And I can't sit here and tell you that I'm happy with where ours is, but I'm also not disappointed. I just want to get more guys jumping in there.
I don't think we give Kirby enough credit.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Yeah, like after his first year, and everybody gets a pass on that first year after that 8-5, 2020 is the only year they haven't had a dominant squad, and they were 8-2 that year. But if you throw those 2 years out, the other 7 years, he's averaged 12 wins a year.
And I think, again, I'm with you. I think 10 wins is very likely for them. You mentioned Gunnar Stockton. The only significant play we saw from him was second half against Texas, 12 of 16, 71 yards. He did throw the 1 pick. But 12 of 16 really good against
71 yards.
71 yards. 12 of 16 is good. They didn't ask him to do a whole lot. That's 4 yards per attempt. I'll save the math. 4.5 yards per attempt. So basically they were like, we're going to play this safe. We're not going to let Gunnar beat us. They opened up a little bit more against Notre Dame. Now, they lost that game by 2 touchdowns, but he was 20 of 32, 234, and threw a touchdown and no interceptions. I mean, I don't think Gunnar Stockton was the reason they lost that game against Notre Dame. Now, they lost 23-10.
Yeah.
So
Georgia is in at number 5 in our 40 and 40 countdown. We'll talk more with Brooks Austin about Georgia and about the upcoming SEC season with Media Day starting 1 week from today. We'll be in Atlanta with all the coverage, normal showtime. For next week, so you can make plans to join us, and then all the bonus coverage that you'll get with us on our platforms, both on social media and on YouTube as well, all next week. We look forward to that. Georgia at number 5, the show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, LT, our friends at Dr. B.
Dr. B, the best in the business. When we started this venture back in August of 2021, I noticed the hair was thinning out a little bit, asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone mentioned for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. 205-319-0316. T3hair.net for more information. T3's got that new test, easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B, find out what will work. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, T3hair.net.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight each day presented by our guy, Alexander Shunnarah. His mission, because he's a Birmingham guy, was to create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. Well, he's done that. They get a lot of recognition and notoriety for what they've done in the personal injury claim front. I mean, I'm talking they've, as a whole, recovered more than $2 billion. That's a lot of money. Right, well, they don't just do that. They do claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, a host of other claims. So if you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
All right, in our spotlight today, a couple of things, but we'll start off with Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, in the recruiting circles. Sometimes you play the DNA game. I'm going to recruit guys I know comes from good DNA, and Marcus Freeman surely has done that. Over the weekend, 3-star wide receiver Devin Fitzgerald picks Notre Dame. Yes, that is the son of Larry Fitzgerald.
One of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty good genes.
I think he is the best we've ever seen.
Best wide receiver we've
Yeah,
ever
I think a lot of people would say Jerry Rice, but I think Larry Fitzgerald, when you look at some of the limited quarterbacks, and look, he ended up playing with Kurt Warner, but just pure skill. And going back to his days at Pittsburgh, like he should have won a Heisman Trophy. I mean, he is maybe, I think I would probably go Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, offensive linebacker, outside linebacker, Thomas Davis Jr., son of Thomas Davis, Carolina Panther at one point, Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, former Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, wide receiver Caden Finley, son of Jermichael Finley, also in this recruiting class. In that wide receiver room already, you have Jerome Bettis Jr., a Notre Dame fan, and a little guy named Elijah Burris, Plaxico's son.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Did you say Jerome Bettis' son is a wide receiver?
As a wide receiver, yeah. Jerome Bettis Jr.
He did not get his dad's body makeup.
No.
I mean, if he's playing wide receiver, his mom must have been super skinny, Lance.
Yeah, I mean,
we matched up some super skinny DNA with Jerome Bettis DNA.
Yeah, the bus has always been the bus.
Yeah, the bus is thick. He got that name for a reason.
A commuter van at wide receiver. So that's Notre Dame. That's part of the spotlight. Another part of the spotlight is LSU over the weekend. This is nothing new, and I know some people were trying to say this is going to happen. It's going to happen. It just eventually has to be approved by the NCAA. But we talked about this a year ago, that there were schools trying to get this passed, and LSU wants to be the first SEC school to do it. They will not be the only one, and I think every school will do it eventually. But LSU wants, and they're trying to get it for this year, a sponsor patch on the jersey. Now, you can always say, well, I've already got a Nike and you've got an SEC patch somewhere, a grad patch. We're long past that. That's going to bother me if it's got, a Raising Cane's patch on an LSU jersey, and that'd probably be a great place to start, or a walk-ons or whatever. But is that going to bother anybody?
I don't care. The problem is you're going to have like a Mississippi State that's going to be NASCAR'd up. I mean, you're going to have like 7 or 8 patches.
It's going to look like a soccer jersey.
Yeah, because LSU can get away with the one patch and they've got, a ton of money. But, the Mississippi States of the world, or, the San Jose States, I mean, how patched up do they get?
Well, I bet you could limit it to one patch. But in NASCAR, I'll tell you one thing that they do now is you don't have a season-long sponsor for all the teams like you used to. Like, it would always be the Rainbow Warriors were always DuPont. Well, then all of a sudden, as it progressed for Jeff Gordon, all of a sudden there was a soda brand that was on his car one weekend. For a place like Mississippi State, maybe you'll have, a jersey. One week it's got one patch on it, and next week's got a different patch.
You could almost sell an away and a home package. Yeah. Like your 8 home jerseys, this is what the price point's going to be on your 4 away jerseys. We got a separate sponsor that is paying X amount.
Yeah, but it will get there, and I'm just soon go ahead and pull off the Band-Aid. Let's go ahead and do it this year.
It hasn't bothered me as much. Like, you see it all the time. NBA.
Yeah.
The Braves, I think it's every game they play with that Quikrete, the concrete company on their jersey. It's on the sleeve. It's not, offensive, but I notice it. Now, I'm not buying bags of concrete routinely. I guess I would go Quikrete if I do. But, I mean, it's noticeable on there enough that I can tell you who the sponsor is.
Didn't somebody have a dating service on there?
Yeah, the Clippers had Tinder, didn't they?
Was it Tinder? Might have been.
Or the Nuggets? It was an NBA team.
Yeah, it was an NBA team that did.
And it was Tinder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It hasn't really bothered me. Like, initially I thought, oh, no, sponsor patches. Most of them are pretty muted. Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as Champions League soccer. I mean, the front of the jersey is the sponsor.
That's right. It doesn't have the team name. It's just
got
a
sponsorship.
That's what I was thinking, because when I would wear soccer jerseys to school, people would say, well, what team is Fly Emirates? And I'm like, oh, that's the airline.
Yeah.
And the sponsor is Arsenal.
Yeah, it is weird. Is this a mock-up?
Those are big enough where people mix it up with the actual team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a mock-up with Roback. One of our great sponsors, Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
I mean, if Roback made a jersey, I think we'd all wear it.
It'd be a very comfortable jersey, first of I mean, that would not be. I mean, if you did that, that wouldn't be like.
No.
I mean, first of all, I like Roback, first of all, but secondly, that's just not. It's very muted. I guess
which offends you more, that or what Tennessee rolled out over the weekend?
Which is what?
They're doing them again for one game. I don't know which game they decided, but they showed them off this weekend. They've upgraded them. Their smoky grays look a little different now.
Not a fan.
No,
but they're going to roll with them again, honoring the military coming up. A smoky gray tribute to Tennessee's volunteer spirit, a reputation of service and sacrifice. And they're going with the smoky grays. A little darker on top, almost a black, and then a lighter gray pant.
I like how I say I'm not a fan right as it shifts to the military.
No, and that's the thing, though. You can still do a tribute to the military wearing great traditional white and orange uniforms.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bad uniform. I hate it. They tied it to the military. I love the military. I hate that uniform.
Yeah, volunteer spirit there in Tennessee.
When are we going to have the appetite, do you think, for peeling names off stadiums to put the corporate name on there? That's where a big money could be, too. Like, I mean, are Alabama fans, do they have the stomach for taking Bear Bryant's name off? Or Auburn fans, Chuck Jordan or Cliff Hare's name off?
I think the old school fan probably would battle, and then the newer fans or the younger fans probably don't care.
I mean, that is an untapped market for most big-time programs because they've named these stadiums after legendary coaches or school presidents or people like that, and you're missing a chance at a big-time money.
I still think, and I don't know about you guys, I grew up in a world where I could tell you every stadium name. Now it's been renamed so many times.
In baseball, you mean?
No, I'm talking, baseball. Like, I still consider the Lakers staples.
Yep.
So, like, whoever.
It's still crypto.com right now, right?
Minute Maid, Enron,
I know.
You get in on the front end, I think it's
you want to be the first one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a better situation. Like, I almost think more valuable real estate would be the end zones. Like, if you had Roback in both end zones and Jordan Hare, I mean, the eyeballs on that is going to be more than them just saying, Roback Stadium.
You're right. The actual advertiser on the field somewhere, yeah.
That'd be easier, I think, to stomach for fans, too.
Q Alabama fans in our chat saying, well, if it's in the end zone, you never see it at Jordan Hare Stadium. It's a rivalry, Ryan.
Yes.
All right, before we get to our buddy Brooks Austin on the other side to continue the talk of SEC football, the show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them are our friends at Odie's, and then we'll do the tender moment of the day. Tell us about Odie's.
Yeah, Odie's Tavern, again, a great place to get lunch or dinner. Get in, see Will Haver and the great staff. We do the Odie's Team Trivia at the original location in Crestline every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Live music every Friday and Saturday night, and, of course, the incredible food all of the time. Both locations, the original Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff at Odie's Tavern.
All right, Jim's tender moment of the day is brought to you by Bojangles. From sweet to heat, they've got 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite, and nothing pairs better with those sauces than hand-breaded tenders. If you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. Smooth and creamy, how about house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce? Head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
Find you somebody that loves you, like Pat Kelsey, head coach of Louisville basketball, loves him some Jimmy Chitwood. In the movie Hoosiers, what was Jimmy Chitwood from the floor shooting?
I think he was only 1 for 1.
Did he ever miss? I mean, I remember he hit the picket fence at the end, but he shot a lot before that, too.
He was 44 of 49 shooting in the movie. 44 of 49
I didn't think Jimmy ever missed.
Pat Kelsey went back and charted the whole movie, and he tells that to the fine folks at the ACC Network on the Louisville Takeover Day. Kelsey laughing, saying, I went back and charted it, man. I got the shot chart in the office there. He was 44 of 49 from shooting in the movie. Missed 5 shots.
Yeah. That's more words than the actor said. You made the point one time. They were like, the producers of that movie decided we're going to get a guy that can play ball. We'll give him 2 lines the whole movie. Coach stays, I play. Coach, I'll make it. I mean, that's basically that's the 2 lines he gets.
And Pat Kelsey, your ACC coach of the year, your newcomer of the year, if he's 8-27 instead of 27-8, are we giving him shit about breaking down every play?
Too many movies.
Yeah, stop playing golf. Stop watching movies. Go recruit or something. Georgia doesn't have a recruiting problem. Brooks Austin talks about why the Dogs at number 5 in our rankings seem to be a little off the radar going into this college football season. A different place for Kirby and the red and black Dogs from Athens when we come back right here on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
On our way to talk to one of our more popular guests, at least in this past year, he's rising up the charts very fast. You can jump in on some great memories with our friends at New Life Art before we get to Brooks Austin. A name you've known for years in these parts, Daniel A. Moore, has painted some great Alabama moments over the year. If you want to add something to that sports room, you can do it right now by going to DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. Great piece last year from Alabama's win over Georgia at Bryant-Denny Stadium on that DanielMooreArt.com list there. Promo code TNR.
Brooks Austin, he's the film guy. You can follow him on social media at Brooks Austin BA. Catch his YouTube channel, does tremendous work there. friend of the show. He is back with us. Welcome in, Brooks. Hope you're doing well, my man.
I'm doing well. I always know it's like the start of football season when my phone starts ringing for interviews like this one. I'm pumped to be back on here. More excited for football season in general. I feel like I walked through the desert the last 3 or 4 months talking about, coaches playing golf and stuff.
You had a comment on it, and it was one reason we were having you on anyway, because you're close to Georgia. We want to talk Georgia, who's our preview team today. We're having you on anyway, but there were a lot of members of the audience like, y'all need to get Brooks on to talk about this because you had some comments about Hugh Freeze and Auburn's failure to get and keep commitments right now. I won't steal it from you. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, all joking aside about golf. First of all, if you can play 15 rounds in a month, that's relatively impressive. You got a lot of time on your hands, whatever line of work you're in. So there's that. But with regards to Auburn's recruiting, I think it's pretty simple. Auburn was like really one of the more aggressive buyers in the last 2 recruiting cycles. It's why they had a tremendous amount of success on the trail in those previous 2 classes. You look up now, they have 7 commits. They're hanging out wherever they're hanging out in the ranking system, whichever ranking systems you prefer. I think it's pretty clear why. I think their boosters are kind of waiting to see, are you going to go actually win some football games before I throw some more money at another class? Now, you can either choose to believe that is what's going on, or you could choose to believe what Hugh and the athletic director just told us, which is, oh, we're playing by the rules. Everybody else is false promises right now. We'll find out in August. I think it's more likely that we'll find out how good of a football team they are this year. Can they win football games? If they can, they'll go win on the recruiting trail. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Brooks, our 40-40 team today, number 5, the Georgia Bulldogs. My reservation, I like the schedule. I even like the skill this year. The offensive line replacing 4 starters. How big of a deal is that?
I mean, they're going to do it at a higher rate than most college football programs are nowadays because they have the bodies. Now, they don't have any of the experience, but they have multitudes of bodies to throw at this. And I think even with, injuries, which are bound to happen in college football, you're going to have 7 or 8 playable bodies at that position. Are they going to be the Georgia of old where we look up every single year and it seems they're pumping out a first-round draft pick at an offensive line position? I don't know. They haven't been that the last couple of years. So we'll see. I have really tremendous high upside for what Monroe Freeling could be at left tackle. I like Drew Bobo, the center that they're going to have this year. He'll never be a top 90 evaluation ever in any simulation of his football career. But he's going to be a great college offensive lineman and a great college center. We'll see what they can do at guard. Micah Morris has been playing a long time for these guys as a spot player. We'll see what he looks like as a full-time starter this year, guys. But in terms of, I heard you guys earlier talking about they feel like they're flying under the radar. The doubts about Georgia this year are very obvious. It's about the quarterback. Nobody thinks right now Gunnar Stockton is a preseason, this is going to be an elite one. We're waiting to see what it's going to look like. And as someone who studies it really, really well, I'm waiting too. I'm waiting to see what the full offense that they're going to build for this guy is going to look like, because I saw spurts of it in the spring game in person, and I think it's going to be really explosive and downfield based with a heavy run game.
The team rallied around him at SEC Championship. Yeah. When he came out in the second half, they loved him. The juice in the building changed. Why do you think he's so loved by his teammates there, and does that help lift him up?
Man, I've been trying to figure this one out since the kid was like 17. He played on a very prominent 7-on-7 group here in Atlanta called Hustle Inc., okay? And Hustle Inc. during COVID, when they were juniors going into their senior year, was a big time for 7-on-7. You couldn't really do anything around here but play 7-on-7. So, like, all the best players in Metro Atlanta that Georgia was recruiting, Oscar Delp, Denial Morissette, Kojo Antwi, every guy here in the Metro Atlanta area was playing for that team. And you go talk to those guys and you say, man, like, who's your favorite quarterback that you ever played with? All of them with a smile on their face. Gunnar Stockton. This is like this little, like he's 6'1", 225-pound guy from Rabun County, Georgia. It's up in the foothills and the mountains in northeast Georgia, very away from Metro Atlanta. And all of the kids gravitated to this guy, and I couldn't figure it out. I go out to the Adidas All-American game right before he enrolls at Georgia, and all those dudes, they're like, hey, who's your favorite quarterback out here today? All with a smile on their face. Man, I really rock with Gunnar Stockton. What is it about the guy? I don't know. But every person to a man says he's genuinely just a great person. that everybody likes him, and I think that does matter in college football. Like, when you get to the NFL, man, you got to be big enough, fast enough, strong enough, make the throws, make the right decisions. In college football, you got to elevate the other 10 guys in the huddle every single down to play a little bit harder. That matters. You win in the margins in this sport.
Brooks Austin is with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline at Brooks Austin BA. If you want to follow him on social media, go watch all his work there. The Film Guy on YouTube as well. Would you qualify the Zachariah Branch move as they know they can unlock? We were just talking about with Lance. That first game at USC, he was incredible. They never got that again from him at USC. Do you think Georgia coaches know they can unlock that or hope they can unlock that?
Man, I think he had like 400 or 500 yards last year at USC. And we know what the freshman first 6 or 7 games were. It was electric with the ball in his hands. But last year, I felt like a lot of people felt it was disappointing. I went and watched it on tape, man, and there were some drops. There's a problem with catch radius. He's not a very large human being. We all know that. So you kind of got to put it on him. But he doesn't have droppy hands. Like, he doesn't drop the football. But if you put it, outside of his frame, he's not big enough and long enough to go make plays. So they were struggling with some problems like that. But I saw moments on tape last year where Lincoln was trying to cut the throats of defenses with Zachariah Branch. They just couldn't quite get it on the same page with a variety of quarterbacks being both Miller Moss and Jaden Maeva. So I am a little bit more bullish on what Zachariah Branch ultimately is because I know what his skill set is with the ball in his hands, and I think that's the only reason Georgia brought him in, right? To give him some of these underneath, opportunities to get the ball now and go make things happen in space with the ball in your hands. Some things that they've really lacked the last several years in that underneath screen game, to be honest with you. They didn't really have a dynamic playmaker. Their best ball in the hand weapon last year was Dylan Bell, and he led the team in drops. So they needed a better, more dynamic weapon at that position to pair with some of these bigger, longer targets that they added and got back in the form of Colby Young.
Former Georgia quarterback Carson Beck now goes to Miami. Miami last year led college football in points per game. They had the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward, but they lose 3 of 4 down the stretch. How different is Carson Beck going to be? Do you think it's a good fit? Ultimately, how do you think it plays out?
Man, I feel like I get more Carson Beck questions leading up to this season than anything else. I get asked more about Carson than I do about Gunnar right about now. And it's my take on this, okay? I think right now, through 27 starts as a college football quarterback, Carson Beck is one of the best facilitators that there is. 6'5", 225 pounds. If the options around him are winning, by God, the offense is going to be winning because he's deadly accurate. He makes good decisions. But are you an elevator? Like, can you take things around you that are crumbling and make them whole? There is no doubt about it. Watch Miami football last year. Cam Ward was an elevator. He was the definition of it. Made plays consistently throughout football games when their team was crumbling around them. Some of his decision-making led to some of that. But nonetheless, Carson Beck has missed that. We saw that. In 2023, they had great parts around him. They led the nation in conversion percentage on third down. He was a 72.4% completion percentage, did not turn the ball over at a high rate. You lose Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers in 2024, and it's a stern drop-off. Everybody around you drops off dramatically. So what do you have around you this year at Miami? I would argue the parts around Cam Ward significantly better than what they are right now around Carson Beck. Add on to that, guys, we just now going to start throwing footballs competitively with our teammates that we just got to get used to. And by the way, ain't no stroll in the park. We open with Notre Dame. So it's a lot of, look, if Carson defies all of those things right there, take that guy inside the top 15. I'm telling you, because there's a lot that he's going to have to overcome to have a 4,200-yard season, to have a Cam Ward-esque, we step in, offense looks great at Miami. If he does all of that, take him with the clout that we thought he had leaving 2023, because he would have solved all of the question marks I have about him from an elevation standpoint. Do we bring this guy in, and he immediately makes us whole?
Nobody watches more tape than the film guy. So I'll ask you, do I need to adjust what I expect from a Southeastern Conference rushing attack on a week-in and week-out basis? Because I'm always judging running games by what I saw with Alabama in their heyday and early on with Georgia and Kirby over there, that, man, if it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, we're going to run it. We can get it. And it hasn't been that way at Alabama since Bryce Young took over, maybe even back to Tua almost, but definitely with Bryce. And it didn't seem that way with Georgia last year. Do I need to adjust my thinking of what a good SEC rushing attack looks like?
So I think the ability to like really absorb all of the line of scrimmage talent like we used to have back in the day, where we're like 12 deep with 4 and 5 stars at Alabama, at Georgia, at LSU. Like those days just don't exist anymore because talent disparities all across. Like we're just dispersing talent clear across the country. So teams are thinner, rosters are thinner. So that domination late in the season, I just don't think is going to exist. But I'm going to tell you what, as long as Josh Heupel's in this conference, Tennessee going to run the hell up out the rock by nature. That's what they do. They're going to, even if it feels like they cheat the scheme a little bit, they are going to run the ball really, really well. Missouri, speaking of cheating the scheme a little bit, Missouri cuts more backside defenders than anybody I've seen in SEC football in the last decade. I'm talking about ankles and knees is what they're hunting on the backside with tackles. Nobody else does it. Everybody else stays up. Everybody else plays on their feet like good athletes. Missouri's out here biting kneecaps and ankles on the backside, but it creates massive lanes in that wide zone running scheme. I think Texas is going to run the football really, really well under Sarkisian by nature and by pure, like, I'm going to run my head into the wall because that's what we have to do. That's what their system's based off of, the play action aspect off of the run game. But I expect Georgia to return back to being able to run the football a little bit better this year, back to standards, if you will, because their quarterback's actually going to require people to be disciplined on the backside. Those backside defensive ends and backside linebackers that make the big plays like not happen because they're able to run the plays down, those guys have been able to just run unevaded to the ball carrier the last 2 years at Georgia because they knew, hey, 15's a decent athlete, but we ain't got to worry about him keeping it out of the back on 3rd and 4, extending a drive. He's definitely giving this ball off, so everybody just hunts the football. I think some of that stuff's going to improve, but in terms of like, we just going to run it 50 times a day and we're going to win national titles? No, that's of a bygone era.
The Film Guy Network on YouTube is where you get breakdowns like that and more extensive breakdowns. Brooks Alston is the guy that does it. He's with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. Give me a guy that jumps off film that we're not talking about. Who's a guy that you've watched and you're like, every time I look at film, this guy jumps off to me?
I mean, it's Lenora Sellers. For me, I just got done watching the Clemson game, which arguably was like his worst passing effort. I think Peter Woods has like offseason nightmares of Lenoris. Like Peter Woods is a great football player. I think he's gonna be one of the best defensive linemen in college football this year. He was stuck. And I know we're on audio for some. He was stuck with his legs just hanging out, while just like, whoa, where's he going? For like 4 quarters against South Carolina last year. Couldn't even get a hand on Lenoris. And then Lenoris gets into open field, and it's clear that defensive backs, like they're like, oh my God, I can't hit this guy. He's a quarterback, but I better hit this guy because he's 245 pounds. What do I do? And then you watch him week 1 and you watch him week 12, and just his decision-making and not making bad ones, like putting the ball at risk at fewer opportunities. Tremendous growth on a tremendous athlete. I don't think there's ever going to be like a super talented thrower of the football in there just because the motion's a little funky. But my God, the horsepower that guy can play the football game with, it's awesome. I'm excited to watch that this year. And I'm excited to see the growth from Nuss. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Arch. There's a lot that I'm watching. I know Auburn's going to turn it over, but can Jackson Arnold mythically not do it? I don't know. We're going to find out.
Brooks Alston, BA on social media, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. Go follow him, set your alerts, subscribe. Everything we ask you to do for us, give him a thumbs up just like you do for us. Brooks, it is always fun, my man. Thank you very much for the time.
No doubt. You ask me an open-ended question like that, my ADD brain going to go bing, 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 bing,
bing,
bing, all over different names.
I know.
We'll see
I love
you, boys.
That fits right in on this show. Yeah, man. We'll see you soon. Brooks with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And our show being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors as we work our way to 4 downs here. I'll tell you, our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama helping you. Maybe it's time to, hey, you've been blessed. Your family has grown to a point you want to say now, it's time to wave the white flag with a vasectomy. Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama can do that. 205-930-0920, 16 locations, 35 urologists standing by to stay on top of your health. That includes early detection when it comes to your prostate health. From prostate health to kidney stones, they'll do it all. All those great locations around Central Alabama. Check it out. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. And our Four Downs, presented in part today by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, a great place to give the gift of relaxation. You can drive by, see Stuart and the great staff. Located at the Summit Shopping Center's beautifully renovated location up there. You can stop in and get the gift cards, or you can order 24/7 online all of the time from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And the simple way to do that is birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
First down.
More wins this year. Philadelphia Eagles, Georgia Bulldogs.
Is there a difference? Isn't it just the Georgia roster in Philadelphia?
Pretty much. Georgia North, yes.
They changed the uniforms. I think the Eagles are good again.
Is this regular season wins?
Regular for the Philadelphia Eagles, you get everything.
I get everything for Georgia. I think 10 regular season wins for Georgia. 2 playoff wins would get them to 12.
I think I'm going to go Georgia. Just based on he averages right at 12 wins a year anyway.
I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles with 12 wins, 12-5 in the regular season, and I will go 11 wins for Kirby and Georgia. 10 not in the SEC championship game, 1 in the playoffs, then a loss. So I'm going to go 12 Philly, 11 Georgia.
I'm kind of with you on both those numbers, 12 Philly, 11 Georgia.
So I'm going 12-11 the other way.
Yeah, 11 for Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, that division, Washington is really good. Dallas is Dallas. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to be a little improved.
A little better.
Where they steal a game or two.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with Jim on this one. I think I'm going to go 12 Philly, 11 Georgia.
Okay, I will go the opposite from you guys.
Second down.
More total touchdowns this year, Gunnar Stockton or Michael Penix Jr. with the Falcons?
Easy for me. I'm going to go Michael Penix Jr. with the Falcons.
That's where I want to go.
I think Georgia wins, and they win a lot of low-scoring games. I think the Falcons, with their wins, they win a lot of high-scoring games. I think they'll be behind a lot. I think they're on their way to their 7th consecutive losing season in Atlanta. Does that sound about right for us? Or 7?
You're probably in the right neighborhood there.
It feels like a lot. But I think they'll score a lot. So I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr. with more touchdowns.
I think 30 to 34 for Penix Jr. Stockton has got a lot of skill around him this year. I'm going to lean Stockton on this one, but I think it's really close.
Yeah,
I think
my gut
30-30.
My gut initially told me Michael Penix, and you said it as I was thinking it, Dunaway, so I'm going to stick with you on this one too. I think I'll go Michael Penix Jr. slightly in front of Gunnar Stockton.
Third down.
Moving forward, more national championships, Kirby Smart, or I'll give you the combination of Dabo Swinney and Kalen DeBoer.
Give me that one more time.
Yeah, you look perplexed.
I am.
It's Kirby Smart national championships moving forward.
Yeah, more
or Dabo and
Kalen DeBoer.
That's why I was asking you. I just don't. I feel like I'm missing something there. I would definitely take the combination of DeBoer and Swinney.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think Dabo's won his last.
But he's
DeBoer's never won one.
I know he hasn't, but he's at Alabama.
So you think this is easy?
I'm going to take so I get a guy that's already won 2 and a guy coaching at Alabama.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the guy that's already won 2 and a guy coaching at Alabama.
But I don't get Dabo's 2. This is from this point forward.
But he's already won 2 is my point, Jim. I mean, he's about to have the best team he's had since Trevor Lawrence, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, so this could be a year for him. I'll go with the combo.
I do believe that that we'll look back that this is a defining watermark time in college athletics, that there will be some programs that will not be as good moving forward as they were to this point. I don't know the other times throughout football history, but I do think that there will be some programs that do not succeed in the new era of football we're going to have into the future. And I'm worried about Clemson being one of those teams. After this year, what is Clemson in the future? So then if I take that out, say Dabo can't win it this year, I think it comes down to a debate of Kalen DeBoer or Kirby Smart. Now my question becomes, has Kirby Smart, has he already peaked?
Yeah.
And is Georgia...
I mean, again, it seemed like a disaster season last year, and they won the SEC.
They did. Sounds familiar, right, with Nick Saban. I'm going to stick with Kirby Smart here.
I'm going to take the combo.
I think it's going to be 2-2, but I think both might come for DeBoer and 2 more for Kirby.
Yeah, I'm going to take the combo.
I'll take the combo, though.
Yeah.
I don't feel great about it, though.
4th down.
I just don't think where the world is headed and how much money these guys have made that they may do it as long as we think they're going to do it.
I mean, think about Dabo is in year 17. That is crazy.
At Clemson.
Yeah.
Not just as a head coach, but at one place.
Yeah.
I mean,
it went fast. I do agree that I don't think that these guys are going to, first of all, they're not going to get the opportunity to stay that long. Yeah. I mean, if DeBoer doesn't win a national championship in 3 years, he's probably gone. That sounds crazy.
Would not shock me as we're doing the 40 and 40 countdown before the 20 and 30 season that all 3 of these coaches are not at their current school. So
what season?
By the time we're doing the countdown leading into the 2030 season, so 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 5 more years of
I could see
these
that.
guys coaching.
You got to factor in some retirements. Yeah,
I could see all 3 of these guys not coaching at their school, or all 3 being out of it.
Yeah.
Did you already hit it?
He did.
That was 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this
is 4. We carried over 30.
Ringo Starr, 85 years old today. Better career, Ringo Starr or Nick Saban?
Boy, it does seem like Ringo Starr has...
Again, I got to ask, what am I missing?
67 birthdays a year. Pops up occasionally, it seems like, or it just spins back around quickly. And then Nick Saban on the other side. I'm going to go Nick Saban here. Not close. I think, have we done
close?
Have we
it's
done,
not close. This is not close.
Have we literally done this question before?
I mean,
and I said exactly the same thing. Nick Saban, not close. And it got pulled out by Taylor and sent on social media. And I got ridiculed by it by saying Nick Saban and not close.
No, I think we had Paul McCartney. I don't know if it was Saban.
Paul McCartney was recent because I said, what would Paul McCartney have been without meeting John Lennon? And vice versa. What would Ringo Starr have been if John Lennon and Paul McCartney never met?
But he still was the drummer for the Beatles.
Yeah, but I mean, I never...
And I could have set up that little machine that goes...
Yeah.
What was Nick Saban without Alabama? Same thing, right?
Oh, he's national champion at LSU.
He made them into that. Like, do you ever listen to the Beatles and be like, man, that drumming, whoop, my gosh, that drumming.
To the Beatles.
Huh?
I said I never listened to the Beatles.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I mean, I can't think of a Beatles song where I noticed the drums.
But it is, whether we like them or not, the most iconic band in the history of music.
But is Ringo Starr...
He still was their drummer.
Okay, but is Ringo Starr considered a great drummer because he's a great drummer, or is he was the drummer for the Beatles?
Well, I don't think he would be a drummer for the Beatles if he wasn't a great drummer.
I don't know.
He wasn't their first choice. They had a different guy, and Ringo just happened to be there when the other guy quit.
Okay, but I would think at any point, I think they probably could have pulled another drummer in, right?
Probably. I mean, they are the Beatles, but I think
if you're not loyal. I mean, you stick with the guys, the loyalty aspect
I think
of it all.
at some point... Paul and John, and I guess George got to talk some too, but Paul and John were like, I mean, George wrote a lot of the songs, right? George Harrison wrote a lot of their songs, I believe. So they're like, George is important because he's writing songs.
I think Ringo wrote like 2.
Okay. And Paul and John are like, they're the main things. And then they're like, a drummer keeps his own beat. That's all we really need. Keep Ringo. We don't need John Bonham up there. We don't need a great drummer. We just need somebody to keep its own beat. We need the rhythm. We need to know,
I tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to ask my robot.
Okay. You're back on that? I thought you deleted that.
I downloaded the Grok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Twitter version?
Yeah.
That's from Elon.
While he does that, the show today being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City and the fine folks right there staying on top of your roof. He'll do that for free. Greg will climb the ladder and give you a free no-cost roof inspection. Some of you have never had the home you're living in's roof inspected. Some of you can't even tell me the last time you had your roof inspected. Greg from Pell City will do it for free. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Insurance providers trust him because he's been doing it here locally for over 20 years. They'll take his word for it, and that helps you in the long run. Full roof replacement, storm repairs. He's got a builder's license, can help you build some stuff, rebuild some stuff there at your home. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. The best in the business is Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. What does Grok say?
Well, of course. I mean, my gosh, the information that they roll out just in the 30 seconds you did the commercial. It says, though, initially, holy hell, this still rolls out. It says, obviously, very subjective. I didn't realize this, though. Ringo Starr, not only 60-plus years, but Ringo Starr has rolled out 20-plus solo albums.
And how many times do you
give me his good song?
Yeah, how many times do you?
Again, I'm not battling for Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
It just says, yeah. I mean, it just says very subjective. Both were great. Yeah.
All right, that is our 4 downs today. And we've got one more hour to go here. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services LT. Tell us about the great folks at Hemphill. Boy, that heat's out there now. If that air conditioning breaks down, these are the people to call.
Here we go. The Robot's personal take. It's a tie, leaning slightly towards Starr for his broader global impact.
Versus who?
Through the Beatles, which reshape culture in ways few achieve. Saban's achievements are monumental, but more niche to American sports.
Well, that's probably true there.
Hey, the Robot, I think the Robot might have got it. Yeah. What am I looking for now?
Hemphill Services.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling. Any of those issues arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, man, good to say this name. Champy's Chicken, final hour of the show. Sterling and the crew down on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Had my buddy Aaron. He had one of those people not from the South in town over the holiday weekend. Said, I'm about to take my brother to the airport. Before he goes back, though, we're driving all the way from Helena down to Alabaster. I've always wanted to go to Champy's because I listened to the show. Want to go down there and show my non-Southern brother that what good Southern eating's like. So they went down there, and Sterling and Megan took care of them at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119. They'll take care of you today for lunch, for dinner tonight, happy hour, tailgating in 47 days. Those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, that chicken that's brined overnight, cooked to order. Nothing better than Champy's Chicken right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go and check them out. All right, we've heard from Brooks Austin. You can go back and catch that anywhere you get the podcast. Set your automatic downloads. Sarah always telling me, hey, tell them automatic downloads helps us at Spotify and at Apple. So go do that right there. And then, of course, thumbs up, like us wherever you're watching, listening to us today. We appreciate you guys so much. LT and D be with you. We've talked a lot of recruiting, so we'll skip past that. Big 12 Media Days start tomorrow in Frisco. Before I ask you a couple of things, let me ask you this question first about the Big 12. Who doesn't survive the year as a head coach in there? Is there a name brand that you think in the Big 12 that is not back as a head coach in 2026? Could this be the year that a Matt Campbell, that a Gundy, or a Bronco, well, he's not there anymore.
No.
Or somebody else loses their gig?
I think the only guy that can lose their gig because Gus got out ahead of the posse, and I think would be Mike Gundy. Like, I really can't think of another guy.
You think Aranda's 100% safe? Because let me paint this.
I mean, if the bottom falls out.
Let me paint this picture for you, okay? They lose to Auburn the first Friday night of the season.
Okay.
All right, so they're 0-1. They're at SMU the next week. That's a difficult game.
Could be a loss, yeah.
All right, so now you're 0-2. You host Samford. You win that one. Your next three are Arizona State at home, at Oak State, Kansas State at home.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a 1-4 start.
You could have a 1-4 start, a 2-3 start, and then the heat is really, really high on him the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Aranda could. I mean, let's look. I mean, they ended up having a pretty solid season last year. It's been a lot of highs and lows. There's just not a lot of guys that could lose their job there. Most of these guys have overachieved in the Big 12.
Not Scott Satterfield.
At Cincinnati, that's the one you're looking at, Dunaway?
Yeah. Are they in the Big 12, aren't they?
They are the Big 12, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, look at this. So, 2020 first year we'll throw out, but 12-2, 6-7, 3-9, 8-5. I mean, you have another 3-9, yeah, he's probably gone.
That 12-2 was a conference championship, too, and then that helps. But Scott Satterfield opens against Nebraska the first Thursday night of the season. That is a 8 o'clock ESPN kick, first Thursday night of the year. Cincinnati, Nebraska at Arrowhead Stadium. Could be a tone setter for him, but it's not like
I'd love that game if it wasn't Arrowhead.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that either. Either college, either on campus, I would really enjoy. I kind of like Cincinnati's funky, small on-campus venue they got. And then, of course, anything in Lincoln, that's a great venue. I would prefer it be on campus. I'm with you, Jim. But still, Cincinnati playing Nebraska, that could be a tone setter for Satterfield. I'm not a big Satterfield guy. I thought it was a weird hire by Cincinnati.
I think Satterfield and Aranda are the only ones that can lose their job.
Can I throw...
Even Gundy, huh? I mean, Gundy was 0-8 in conference.
Yeah. Oh, I said Gundy initially.
Yeah, you did.
So those three. I am going to stop. I do not think that there is anybody else that can lose their job for on-field.
Okay. I'm going to throw some at you.
Yep.
And you just tell me. Sonny Dykes.
No. I thought about him, but I think he probably cashed in too much on the contract.
He did.
I think it's too big of a contract.
2021. So you're saying buyout reason is why?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there is something. It was TCU playing for a national championship.
Yeah, they got embarrassed in the game, and since then have done nothing positive when it comes to winning football.
No, I mean, it started immediately because remember, the first game after getting embarrassed in the national championship game,
they lose to Colorado.
They lose to Colorado on national TV in kind of embarrassing fashion. The score does not indicate how big a beatdown that really was.
But I think everybody kind of predicted. I mean, we talked about the drop-off.
Yeah, but I didn't think it would start that immediately.
And I think everybody was saying the same thing. But, I mean, if you look at Sonny Dykes, I mean, he was 9-4 last year. He is 27-13 there in 3 years. I mean, he had a Hugh Freeze second year in 5-7, but 13-2 and 9-4.
Joey McGuire, Texas Tech. We're spending all this money if we don't win games this year. You don't think they get rid of Joey McGuire or could?
Could. I mean, I think, Lance, as you look up McGuire, I think you're going to find a lot of 7 and 8 win seasons. I think he's been pretty consistently 7-5, 8-4. I think he's in his 4th season there, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's done 3 seasons. I think you're probably going to find 7-5, 8-4, 7-5.
Yeah, 8-5, 7-6, 8-5.
Yeah, so that's who he is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what your expectation for Texas State. I mean, if they were to go 5-7 with the money they're spending,
very forgiving non-conference schedule though, as we talked about when we previewed them. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State, and they host all 3 of those.
My buddy Van instantly says Joey McGuire easily could lose his job because they are giving him everything. And how attractive is that job? To maybe somebody a higher profile than a Texas high school coach is basically what he is, souped up Texas high school coach. Be a higher profile. If we're going to be in the Big 12, we're going to spend all that money. That becomes an attractive job.
Yeah, it's so if he has a 5-7 like season, I could see it. But 8-4, this is such an unpredictable conference, and they're going to beat up on each other. So I think he's a good coach. We don't know how good he is, but now he does have the resources to actually do something. I asked my robot who was going to win the Big 12. They got Texas Tech.
I think I do too. I think I have them in a playoff.
I had BYU,
sure.
But now, with quarterback situation, a little more difficult.
Let me ask you this. Let's go the opposite of Hugh Freeze. And Joey McGuire is 8-4, 7-5, but they're fringe top 10 recruiting. Does that buy him another year, you think? Or do they just say, look, that's money, man. Anybody could recruit with that kind of money. So he's the anti-Hugh Freeze. He's doing well in recruiting.
Yeah, I think 7-5, 8-4. I just don't think you want to reset. But what's
so you're
interesting
saying
now?
You would keep him there.
I would keep him. But what's interesting now with that kind of money, how appealing is that job? Now you got to live in Lubbock. Yeah. So that's probably not great. But outside of that, if you feel like you can win the Big 12 with that kind of money.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, I think any good recruiting coach could take the budget of the billionaire and say, I'm on, man, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
give me that shot.
Give me that shot. I can easily recruit that.
I'll throw 2 more quickly at you. One of them is Willie Fritz. I think it's only his second year.
It's only his second year.
Second year at Houston, but Houston's got some money.
Yep.
And they're seeing...
We'll be talking about Fritz next year if he doesn't do something this year.
They're seeing TCU. They're seeing SMU, some former old Southwest Conference mates that they sort of feel like they're in the same neighborhood of doing some big things. Houston. And then I'll go when your rival does something big, you got to worry about the other side of the street, right? If my rival does something great, then my job becomes under the microscope. And Arizona, and I think it's only his second year too, the Brennan guy at Arizona.
Brennan.
But if he falls flat again and they got a losing record, man, I got Kenny Dillingham across the street taking Arizona State to the playoffs.
Well, I think a lot depends on if Arizona has a bad year, what Arizona State does. Like if Arizona State wins the Big 12 again and then Arizona is 4-8, then yeah, Brennan would have a lot more pressure on him.
Fun league out there, and we get the first league game is our first big college football game of the year, 47 days away. Farmageddon, Kansas State and Iowa State will play off there to start off the year in Ireland coming up in 47 days.
They've all got, I mean, you think about Baylor and Auburn, you think about Cincinnati and Nebraska, there's some really good Big 12 matchups. I mean, some out-of-conference matchups, but Big 12 teams involved in really, really good Week 0 and Week 1 matchups.
Couple of more Big 12 questions here before you turn the page and move somewhere else in college football. But you just mentioned Jake Retzlaff. We followed that story last week when it was talked about him being in the portal. I thought he was playing chicken. Here we are now after the July 4th Independence break. Have you heard any more about Jake going to the portal?
No,
we're going to Big 12 Media Days.
I'm not going to pretend like I was entirely plugged in our time off, but I have seen nothing on that story.
Yeah, facing they believe a 7-game suspension this year because of the honor code at BYU. But I have not heard any more of Jake going into the portal. Well, I mean, we're about to start showing up on campus for classes in a month. If he's hitting the portal and going to go somewhere else, we're going to be at camp soon.
So Salt Lake Tribune just did, and it might be a million pop-ups, just did an article 4 hours ago on what his options are. And I haven't read through it, but it's just titled, "Here's How BYU Quarterback Jake Retzlaff Can Transfer Despite Missing the NCAA Portal Deadline."
Yeah, I think that's only because he's a graduate transfer.
Yeah, he's a graduate. He can move.
Yeah, you get one graduate transfer at any time. You don't have to wait for the portal. If that's still the rule, I think that's still the rule.
I think they need to get the white out on the premarital sex.
Let's just ignore that part of it.
I mean, but if you're with the money they're spending, we laugh about it, but if you're a big-time recruit coming out of high school football and you know that you can be suspended for the majority of a season for having sex, I think that is going to hurt their recruiting.
It makes you think twice just because I make one mistake. All right, I make one mistake and I'm out 7 games. And now I know. At least I know what I'm signing up for. Like I understand.
But this could be your fiance.
Yeah.
It's, Miami, I think they welcome it. They put you on a boat with a bunch of them dancing around.
They're trying to get you to do it in Miami. Hook that guy in.
Louisville had a whorehouse on campus.
Yeah, but to your point, Dunaway, if he is not in a camp pretty soon, so we got Big 12 Media Days this week. We'll have SEC Media Days next week, which means camps open generally that first week of August. I don't know, even the Ty Simpsons of the world that haven't made a start and the Jackson Arnolds of the world that have never started at his school are out there throwing balls to receivers in the summer. And you're not even doing that if you're Retzlaff.
And Lance is higher on Retzlaff than I am. I don't.
Yeah, I like Retzlaff. He's not going to wow you. He's not what we saw with, oh my gosh, who was the last kid? Zach
Wilson?
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, BYU.
He's not a Zach Wilson, but I think he's a good, solid quarterback. And with the unknown, he's probably waiting for a Retzlaff opportunity because he can come in and play immediately. So is it one of those things where you wait? If a kid gets injured, then you go? Because I don't know where an immediate starting spot would be for Retzlaff. If he could go to BYU, that's an immediate spot, because he's got the experience.
Last week, Ryan made, when we first talked about this developing story, Ryan made the case that he's better than Joey Aguilar.
No, that was Lance.
That was me.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that to be the case, but
I think he's better than Aguilar, but I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know how. Is it significantly different where if you're Josh Heupel with all the quarterback controversy, we'll call it, do you want to bring in another guy? Probably not at this point. If it was head and shoulders, yeah. But I think that they're probably comparable, so they probably wouldn't make that move.
Here's how I would have put it. When Nico transferred out, if Retzlaff and Aguilar were both in the portal without any of this, I bet he would have gone Retzlaff.
I would think so, too. But now it's too close, and you don't want to cause any more confusion, upheaval.
Big 12 Media Days starting tomorrow in Frisco, and they don't just bring a coach and 2 players. Some have 6 players, some have 4 players, some have 5 players with them on the trip there on the Star in Frisco. The other side of this, think about it while we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Give me the biggest questions you have about this Big 12 season coming up. The show being brought to you, Brownie, by our friends at Bojangles. Tell us about Bojangles.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles. Great dipping sauces, great hand-breaded tenders, and they go together very, very well. From sweet to heat, Bojangles, 7 sauces will add a little extra flavor. So if you want sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic bow sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some of those hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. It's your opportunity right now to jumpstart that weight loss and keep it off forever with a planforme.com. A planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. No contracts, no sign-up fees. And that first consultation is free with Leslie and her board-certified team. And they help you along the way to maintain that weight loss. You could do it with injection therapy, meal replacements. I eat some protein bars in between some healthy lunches and dinners. A variety of different ways to do it. Just find out more by getting that free consultation. A planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. The biggest question in the Big 12 season for you is?
Well, I think there are 3 things that I am looking at. First, do you have a team that once they get to the postseason, can they actually make some noise? Like, they're going to cannibalize each other. I think it's going to be a lot of 8-4s, some 9-3s, maybe a couple of 10-2s. But once they get there, Arizona State was really close. They lost in double overtime to Texas. But do you have a team that can actually make noise when they get there? The other thing, the 2 most consistent programs over the years have been Utah and Oklahoma State. Did they bounce back this year? Both of them really, really bad years. Oklahoma State, disastrous year last year. But Kyle Whittingham, based on Utah expectations, they were below that last year. And then finally, can a couple of retreads recreate magic that they had in Scott Frost and Rich Rodriguez?
Yeah. I think the single biggest storyline, and we were just talking about it, is quarterback at BYU, because to me, this is the equivalent of Texas losing Arch Manning, Clemson losing Cade Klubnik, Ohio State losing Julian Sayin. Those
championship contenders.
Yeah, with those guys, those are your conference favorites. And I think with Retzlaff, BYU's your conference favorite, in my opinion. Now, it's very muddled at the top of the Big 12, so you can make a case for a lot of people. But with Retzlaff, I would make the case for BYU. You take him away, it's anybody's game now. Like, I think I would probably, Lance, go Kansas State now if Retzlaff is going to BYU. I would probably go Kansas State, but I certainly don't feel great about it.
Because it was a BYU, because they are the ones that imposed the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way they could get a special waiver? And I'm talking about somebody that normally couldn't transfer in, could transfer in. Could you file for something like that?
I don't think so, no. I wouldn't think it would work that way. Because then that opens a Pandora's box, doesn't it? Like, if I don't like my quarterback, I plant some weed in his car.
Yeah.
So you got
that would be next level.
That's right. But, what's that that just came out of your pocket right there?
Because at Iowa State, you can't be like, he had sex, he's got to go.
That's right. Well, he's at Iowa State. It's not like you're BYU.
So Big 12 Media Days, we'll have some sound from them coming up tomorrow and Wednesday on the show. Again, next Monday, we're in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. John Mateer told a story over the weekend how he ended up at Oklahoma. People asked, you were the backup to Cam Ward, and you followed him at Washington State, and then Miami. Cam was great, and now he's to the pros. Did Miami approach you? So you backed up Cam Ward. You followed him as a starter at Washington State. Did Miami ever reach out to you when you were in the portal to come to Miami? He's like, oh, yeah. They kept knocking the door down. And he made it sound like their offers were actually bigger than Oklahoma's. But
there's a big difference, though.
He was like, I didn't want to follow Cam again. And then the Ben Arbuckle thing.
I was going to say the Ben Arbuckle, you bring your 29-year-old offensive coordinator in with you. I mean, that was probably the most appealing thing. And he gets to play in the SEC.
Yep.
And you look at the lineage of great Oklahoma quarterbacks. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity for Mateer. I mean, all things equal, Miami probably pays more money, but it seems like better destination would be at Oklahoma.
You're a fan of both these guys. If you were Miami, would you rather have Mateer or Carson Beck?
Mateer.
And this Lance is one of the bigger Carson Beck fans there is out there.
Rumor $4 million a year at Carson Beck at Miami. $3 million is what Mateer is getting, according
He's just
to
more
reports,
exciting
at Oklahoma.
Yeah, you heard what Brooks Austin said. I mean, he is a great facilitator.
No, you're talking Carson Beck now.
Yeah, and I think Carson Beck will end up being a starting quarterback in the NFL. But there's just something special about Mateer.
Yeah. By the way, the breaking news I hinted at earlier: Joe Castiglione is the athletic director at Oklahoma. Today, news breaks that he is going to retire sometime during the football season this year. Pete Thamel was the first to report that. The reason that's interesting is
Venables.
Brent Venables.
Yeah. It really is.
This is a guy that's, gave Brent Venables, after a difficult season, a big contract extension because he was entering the SEC. I guess it wasn't a difficult season. It was a 10-win season, but it was his second year. And you're like, why do we need a contract extension after year 2? But he went ahead and stacked him up entering the SEC. But if Castiglione is gone, that was a big proponent of Brent Venables.
Well, I think you probably get rid of Porter Moser, too. I think whoever this athletic director is that comes in, I think that if Venables doesn't have a good year, and the same with Porter Moser, I think your two biggest hires are almost immediate.
Yeah. I would agree.
To put a finish on what John Mateer had said in the interview over the weekend, Miami wasn't on the table for him. It was Oklahoma, and if it wasn't Oklahoma, he was going to go to his backup plan. Everybody had a backup school, a side girl in case my girlfriend ever dumped me. It was going to be North Carolina, he said. I was going
to bring up North Carolina when we were talking about, Jake Retzloff. I think he's a better option than Gio Lopez.
So UNC was a safety school?
Yep.
And that's why they ended up with Gio Lopez kind of late in the deals because
Mateer was going to go there. If
he didn't materialize.
That's right. And get ready for that coming up soon, our spotlights. We'll be doing headlines very soon. All right, one more thing to get to in this segment, trash in the next segment. Show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made over 20 years ago. 205-969-8100. I have got the 2015 vision, better than 2020. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, NBA Summer League action tonight, 6 o'clock ESPN. If you're a big Janai Broom fan, Oklahoma City, Philadelphia Summer League, 6 o'clock main ESPN. Janai scored 13 with 5 rebounds in about 20-plus minutes in his first Summer League game, so you can watch that tonight on main ESPN if you want to see that. Tim Hudson's going into the Oakland Athletics Hall of Fame in September. Former Auburn pitcher.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Former Golden Spike winner.
Where do they house that Hall of Fame by chance, Jim?
Yeah, I hope it's on some wheels so they can move it around to Sacramento and to Las Vegas. Ronald Acuna, Matt Olson, Chris Sell are Atlanta Braves that are on the All-Star team in Atlanta next week. In Cal Raleigh, we've been updating the big dumpster. The big dumper? What was the
big dumper, wasn't it? Yeah, the big dumper.
The catcher with Seattle, more home runs, third highest home run total any position before the All-Star break. He's got 35. Only people with more home runs before the All-Star break in Major League history. Barry Bonds had 39 before the All-Star break in 2001. Raleigh's got 35. Reggie Jackson in 1969 had 37. Mark McGuire had 37 in 1998. Luis Gonzalez had 37 in 2001. Chris Davis had 37 in 2013. And now Raleigh at 35. Those are the only ones that have that many home runs before the All-Star break.
Has he committed to the home run derby yet? Do you know?
I do not think he's in the home run derby.
Oh, really? Because I was going to say,
am I wrong, Forster? I don't know.
That would be surprising.
Pete Alonso is out. I did see that yesterday.
Have you heard, Scott? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay. Because I was going to say, here's what's going to happen. He's going to do the home run derby in Atlanta, and he's going to go in the home run slump that he was naturally going to go in, like just about everybody on that list did, and everybody's going to blame it on the home run derby.
Yeah, he is part of it.
Oh, is he? He's in the derby? See,
wow.
You watch. And
I would not do it, actually.
Do you put any credence into that, though?
Well, no, not
that it messes up your swinging.
Acuna's going to do it. Cal Raleigh's in it. National slugger James Wood. If you build it, they'll come.
Yes.
Or is that, who's that?
That was James Earl Jones.
But James Wood's been really good this year for the Nats.
Yeah.
One of the few bright spots.
Yeah, they fired everybody over the weekend, including their general manager and Davey Martinez that won the Nationals a World Series in 2019.
Oh, he's probably a 450 coach since that World Series championship. So that firing was coming.
And Paul Skeens has one win in his last 13 starts. Didn't get it yesterday either.
Not his fault yesterday.
He has a 1.72 ERA in those 13 starts, and he has one win.
Let's say that again, please.
He has one win in his last 13 starts with a 1.72 ERA.
I don't think it's possible. I mean, that is absolutely impossible.
It really is. You know, our free play yesterday at Lance's Lock was the Mariners. And because, you know, Skeens gets no run support at all.
Yeah.
I mean, gives up 5 hits, strikes out 10, gives up 0 runs, and he loses 1-0.
Like I saw some Clayton Kershaw stuff because he hit strikeout number 3,000 while we were off, and I saw some stuff on him when he was playing at Southlake in Dallas. In high school, he once pitched a perfect game. I think it was a 7-inning perfect game where he struck out every single batter he faced in 7 innings. And it actually made me think like Paul Skeens would win that game 1-0.
Yeah.
I literally thought that when I saw it. I was like, Paul Skeens could strike out every single batter and might win 1-0.
I'll give you time to think about this in the commercial break, you at home as well, or if you're riding around listening to us in your head, don't write it down. Drive 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. The biggest, deepest dark horse you can go in the NFL to win the Super Bowl, how deep do you go to feel confident in that? Give me your pick on the other side on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Say hi to Sterling. Enjoy that chicken. champyschicken.com. Back in a moment on TNR.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that quality legal services be performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Rolling on to the next round. Always brought to you by Champies. Before we get back to sports, God, I forgot to write down who did this study, but it's one of those people that do
studies.
Yeah, but it's a well-recognized one. But I didn't write it down who it was. But
I am going
American Dentist Society.
No, it starts with a P.
P. Procter and Gamble.
The Porter Industry or something like that. They're known for
Pew Research.
That's
Pew
it.
Research.
Thank you very much.
Look at Jeeves.
Thank you very much, Tyler. That's brilliant on your part. That's who it was. 1 in 4 Americans. 1 in 4 Americans will do what in their lifetime now?
1 in 4 Americans.
Yes, it's going to be a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Let me just go ahead and tell you.
That's higher
Jim.
than 1 in 4.
1 in 4 Americans will stay single in their life now.
I've seen this, that singleness they believe is going to be at an all-time high.
Yep. 1 in 4 Americans the people that are in their marrying age now in their 20s, by the time they hit 50, will never have married.
Yeah.
They will choose to be single for their entire life.
I think there are less people that want kids now. And I think that's probably one of the factors.
That's alarming. We don't continue as a society if people quit having kids.
These robots are going to get us before then anyway, bro.
Yeah. They predict Big 12 champions, they kill us.
Yeah.
Both those things are down. Marriage and childbearing are both down. And I don't know, there's a lot of theories as to why.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people grow up around divorce, and you look at the numbers, it's 50-50, and there's a lot of people that, and do I really want to go through this? And if you don't want to have kids, I mean, that's one of the, probably the majority of people get married because they want to have a family, right?
Now, some of this is people that just decide not to get married, just to live together, have their own family, and not get married.
Yeah, they're shacking up, basically, is what people would call it.
1 in 4 will be single for life, and by choice. I guess technically not by choice. Some people have to be single for life. They do not find their lobster, as they used to say in the Friends series. They are their mate.
I think majority of people can find somebody. You might have to settle.
Yeah, not everybody's lucky as us to find people.
Yeah, but I know some people that.
Yeah, but I mean, we still know people that have settled.
I know some people that have lived a long time single too, and they seem
very happy.
Very happy. Maybe they're hiding it. I don't know. I don't really talk to them about their, singleness.
I will tell you, this is the first time in my life over the last year that I get a lot of single nights where I just stay at home with the dogs.
Yeah,
and it's just me and the dogs. I never thought I would like it. Boy, I love it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just nice and quiet.
Yeah, I mean, because you pick, like, if I want to go sit at the bar and eat, I can do that. If I want to eat at home, get carry out, I get to choose what. Don't have to ask that question, which is always a debate.
Yeah, where are we going?
Yeah, what do you want to watch tonight? Can become a debate. You get to be more selfish.
Yeah.
Our friends at A Plus bringing you part of the show today. Tell us about A Plus, and I got one more sports thing. The question I asked before the break about Super Bowl dark horse to win it all. Tell us about A+, Brown.
Well, perhaps you are getting married or getting divorced. You need to sell the house. Boy, that's a weird way to start a spot there, but I was trying to play off what you just talked about there, Jim.
Yep.
How about you just want to update a room in your house, okay? And
if you want to go from a single residence to a double residence or more.
My wife and I were just talking about that this weekend. Like, if you wanted to sell our house, well, we've updated our master bath, thanks to Brad Bell, who I'm telling you about here in this weirdly started commercial. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's his specialty. Not to say it's all he does, but it is certainly his specialty. And it's important, those rooms, because you spend a lot of time in those rooms. And when you go to sell your house, the point I was getting to, if you want to sell your house, sometimes it's great to have somebody in there and say, you need to update this, this, and this. Well, Brad knows this ahead of time, and he knows these are the rooms people are looking at. So that's why he specializes in it. So if those rooms are outdated for you, if you just want them to be nicer to live in and perhaps sell one day, Brad is your guy. 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. You could see more before and afters at alabamabathremodels.com. That is alabamabathremodels.com. It is my guy, Brad Bell. My wife scoured the internet and found him, and she did that not for just for us, but for you as well. alabamabathremodels.com.
And congratulations to Jen Brown, 25 years of nursing. Since you scoured the internet for A+, I saw on social media her cute picture from graduating from nursing school and 25 years of caring for others. That's fantastic.
That is great. Yep, she's doing surgery as we speak. So there you go.
She's not hearing this at all, but
not hearing. I'll tell her you said it.
Yeah, beauty of this platform. Yep. You can watch or listen anytime. So 25 years. That's a quarter of a century.
That's a good run.
Yeah,
that's a good run.
Yeah,
she's good at what she does too. I'm told. Like I've never
been in the OR.
I've never been in the OR, but all the doctors.
Would you feel confident? I know you don't like the beach, but if a shark took off a leg, would you be confident about her tourniquet?
Oh, yeah. I'd want her on the job.
Yeah. Before I became friends with my friend Courtney, I used to call Jen Brown all the time. Anytime I had a sore throat or a headache or twinge in my arm or something.
Having a heart attack.
So that's the Courtney that Jen sends all the flowers to.
That's right. She said, thank you,
God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. How deep on the odds do you go to confidently give me a legitimate Super Bowl winner? I'll go first. I'll go to plus 2,800, and I'll give you the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe this is our year. I believe we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow, really?
Baker Mayfield has been much better than I thought he would be. Is he good enough to win a Super Bowl? I don't think so.
We arguably have the best offensive line in the NFL. We have a deep receiver room. We have a great running attack.
You got a questionable coach and quarterback.
We have a good defense. Our quarterback's playing his best football he's ever played.
Yeah, but how many quarterbacks are better than him?
I mean, you go look at how many points the Buccaneers score on average last year. They score all the time. It was stopping people we had a problem with.
There are 10 teams in front of mine, and I thought I had gone too deep, but you went deeper than I did, Jim, because at mybookie.ag I got the Bucs at 2,900.
Yeah, 2,800 for the Chargers as well, by the way. So just take a flyer on one 2,800 team. I think you get one there.
Mine is plus 2,508, a very specific number, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos.
Boy, that would be Bo Nix winning a Super Bowl.
It would be. Worst quarterbacks than him have done it.
Yeah. I mean, look, and he was really good last year.
Yeah.
You know,
you're asking for a dark horse. I mean, I'm not going to give you a Hall of Famer and call it a dark horse.
I was going to take the Chargers at 28-1. I can't believe the Chargers have worse odds than the Bengals, but I would take the Bengals at plus 2,100.
Yep, I see that. Bengals plus 2,100. The new quarterbacks series that is out on Netflix. Joe Burrow had a film crew. Apparently, Joe doesn't let a lot of people into his personal life, but he did do the film crew of the documentary, The Quarterbacks. So if you like that, watch for that to hit your streaming services soon.
Pretty remarkable to me looking at this at MyBookie. The Lions, the fifth best odds still, and they lost so much in the offseason. Both coordinators, maybe one of the best centers ever to play the game. And still, they're the fifth best odds in front of teams like Cincinnati and Washington and the Rams and the Packers.
Yeah, who's got the sixth best odds?
It's always the Rams.
Not at my bookie, but yeah, the Rams.
Yeah, I've seen them at 17-1.
Yeah. Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Rams. Your favorite to win the Super Bowl. the Hall of Fame game a little bit later on this month to start the off season of the exhibition year. Brownie, tell us about Breakline. That'll get us to trash today.
Yeah, I had some breaking news earlier. I put on the old Breakline Optics breaking news glasses. Hey, BreaklineOptics.com. In fact, I saw somebody, I wish I had tagged this so I could give the name, and I apologize for not having your name here, but somebody in our chat room ordered a pair of Breakline Optics glasses, and they were delivered, and he wore them over the 4th of July weekend, said they are fantastic. These are very durable glasses. You can beat these lenses with a hammer and not break them. They are made to last. And this is a local company. They operate nationwide. It's a nationwide company, but they're based here in Birmingham. BreaklineOptics.com for more information on these. BreaklineOptics.com. You ask, what is Breakline? Breakline is the line of water where freshwater and saltwater meet. It's a great fishing area, and that's the inspiration for the name, because outdoorsmen created these glasses for people that love to be outdoors, right? And they did that with the salt water in mind, with the pool water in mind, and they built these glasses to not be affected by those things. They built them to last. If you're a golfer, if you like just being out on the lake, the beach, these look great. They are lightweight. They are durable. They are just great all around. You can see more, BreaklineOptics.com. That is BreaklineOptics.com.
Tell me about the whistles. The whistles got woo. When you want to woo woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Had some at the lake and the pool this weekend. You guys try to contain your excitement. Chuck E. Cheese isn't just for kids anymore. The arcade chain is opening a spinoff aimed at adults called Chuck's Arcade.
Oh, I love it, man. I go all the time.
Now, the company describes as a, quote, modern-day love letter to the games and people who made Chuck E. Cheese great. Now, similar to the kiddie version, Chuck's Arcade has a mix of nostalgic arcade games like Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat and newer titles such as Halo and Connect 4 Hoops.
How is this
different than Dave & Buster's?
Different than Dave & Buster's.
They don't have food or drink. Like, let's really dumb this thing down.
Wait a minute. So this place doesn't even have pizza?
Well, Chuck E. Cheese has never been renowned for their quality of food.
Yeah, but I still need...
There was the whole controversy a few years back where people were accusing them of mismatching pizzas to make a new pizza instead of cooking
like they're
fresh.
taking old stuff and putting it together?
Yeah, but if you're going to do the nostalgic brand, give me the nostalgic bad cheese pizza.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Lance. I'll never forget our former co-worker, NFL great Al Del Greco. One time Chuck E. Cheese came up. He's like, they've got a great Italian sub. And I'm like, Al, I know you're Italian, but I am going to very much doubt that Chuck E. Cheese has a great Italian sub.
I didn't know it was on the menu.
Yeah, how do you even get there and order that?
I have no
Normally,
idea.
you get drugged to Chuck E. Cheese for a kid's birthday party, and you might snag one of those side pieces of pizza to sit down and order an Italian sub.
People get Chuck E. Cheese delivered to them now.
Why?
I don't know why.
Is it just
it's
nostalgia?
not good I guess so. It's not good pizza though, but I'll deliver
Stakeout's
it
still around too, by the way.
That's true, yeah.
Now, 10 are open so far at malls across the U.S. with arcades in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, El Paso, St. Louis. Each location looks different, decorated with the original artwork that celebrates the brand's past. Now, of course, there will be prizes for adults to win, and arcades will have old school merch available for purchase. Some arcades will serve food, with the Kansas City location have a pizzeria that also serves small selection of beer and wine.
Okay, so, I mean, this is the generation that grew up on Chuck E. Cheese. This is their time to be adults now, so I can see what they're doing here. You know, that's why people rewatch television shows and movies, right? Psychologists, I saw this over the weekend. Psychologists say, like, the reason I go and will watch West Wing, I've probably seen it all the way through 5 times, 6 times, 7 times maybe, from start to finish, even the last bad couple of years. Why I'm just about to finish Deadwood for the 2nd time. Why I would just sit in front of a Law & Order marathon sometimes. That if I feel disjointed in my life, on shaky ground in my life or something, that rewatching a movie,
it's a comfort
an
blanket.
old show,
it's a blanket.
It's comfort. It sort of lets you know that you're in a safe place. That's a psychological thing, and I think.
Are you on shaky ground right now?
No, I'm just rewatching Deadwood. But Chuck's Arcade, I'm no more shaky than anyone else. I'm just saying Chuck's Arcade would take back to those comfortable days, make you feel comfortable going to that.
Plus, you can't get that stuff at the main Chuck E. Cheese anymore. Like I said, I was picking up a delivery, and they don't have animatronics anymore. They've just got a video screen that has like the animated versions of all the characters telling you to be nice to other kids.
Wait, so Chuck E. Cheese is only serving food, and this Chuck's Arcade is only giving games.
What are we even doing here?
I don't know, but it made me sad seeing that.
That is sad. Charles Entertainment Cheese is not even in there?
Yeah, I didn't see Charles Entertainment Cheese. It looks like his grandson that
I remember before it was
bad
Chuck E.
knockoff.
Cheese, it was Showbiz. Do you
I
guys remember
Oh, yeah,
that?
they had the band. You remember they had the little animatronic band?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Bluegrass band.
Bluegrass band, yeah.
Florida man who cops believe was stabbed in a drug dispute was in surgery when a nurse discovered, hopefully Jim Brown's never discovered anything like this, a glass crack pipe, a lighter, and tinfoil containing cocaine in his rectum.
She's not exactly doing those types of cases.
According to court records, now the surprising find occurred earlier this month at St. Petersburg's Bayfront Hospital, where Michael O'Neill, 43, had been transported for a knife wound. While in surgery, RN located the stashed items. After being hospitalized for his injuries, O'Neill was booked into jail on Friday night for cocaine possession, a felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Over the last few years, O'Neill has been convicted of DUI and numerous drug-related counts.
What was cool, though, that he was able to lean up on his left cheek and said, hold on, let me light my pipe. And he...
Well, based on the, he looks like he's in pain based on the mug shot there. You know, if I'm Tommy Spina, do you not sell this as, okay, my client was knifed, and to make it even worse for him, they stuck stuff up his ass that would get him arrested.
Yeah, he was completely the victim in this situation.
Boy, that seems dangerous. He had 2 baggies containing fentanyl in his ass as well. One of those baggies breaks. Couldn't that be a problem?
Absolutely, that would kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He's rolling that. Again, decision-making I don't think is a strength of this guy's.
I don't think so.
So I don't think the fentanyl should be a huge surprise, but yes, that could kill you, right?
So a medical clinic in Scotland is asking local residents to stop bringing in inappropriate or unsolicited urine samples. Now, the Salton surgery said on social media that doctors and medical staff at the clinic have been inundated with a, quote, high volume of unsolicited urine samples, often in non-medical household containers instead of sterile sample containers. Quote, please be advised we are no longer able to accept urine samples unless they have been specifically requested by the practice. This change is necessary due to the high volume of inappropriate or unsolicited samples being submitted, which affects our ability to provide timely care to all our patients.
It's a Ziploc bag, sir. At least zip the lock.
Won't be.
British Medical Association Scotland rep explained doctors need to perform an examination before they can interpret urine test results. Quote, each unsolicited sample handed in requires time and medical supplies to test in practice, contact for the patient for information, and then interpret the results and or send away for further testing.
You know how hard it is to get that urine in that Capri Sun with that little straw? Not easy.
I mean, is this drug testing, Lance? Are they bringing a clean sample? Is that what they're trying to avoid here? Or this is just nasty people?
I didn't really understand that. Is that more, or is it people that are sending the urine just to have the doctors run tests, just overall blood tests kind of thing?
Or just to run tests. They're coming in for checkups or to get other stuff done, and they're just also bringing in their pee instead of waiting for the doctor to say, all right, here's the sample cup, we're going to do these tests.
Yeah, let's let the doctor.
When you're going to the doctor, is one of the things you think about, don't go to the bathroom before?
No, I've done the exact opposite. I've gone for a physical and not even thought twice about it. Use the bathroom right before, and they're like, okay, we're going to need to get a urine sample. I'm like,
yeah. While walking up the stairs.
Yeah. What?
I'll stop at the bathroom before I walk up the stairs.
Yeah, right before I go. I don't even think twice about it. And we need a urine sample.
My doctor's on the 4th floor, and I'll stop at the 1st level and then go up to the 4th floor and be like, all right, we're going to get a urine sample. I was like, let's do the other stuff first.
Could have given you that 8 minutes ago.
I guess it's all to avoid like being in the waiting room and then really needing to go.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they could call me any second now. I've already filled out the paperwork.
Gotta go.
I think they'll let you, though.
Like, go back around.
Gotta go.
I'm guessing if you were like, hey, I've been holding it, can I just use the cup real quick and then go back and wait?
Yeah, I'll leave the cup in there.
I would think they would do that. I don't know how good of a business model this is going to be, but the South American Tour Group is turning Jonestown into a travel destination over 4 decades after it was the scene of the most notorious mass suicide and murder in modern history.
Why would you even want to go?
That's a great question, Jim.
Yeah.
It's got to be Like if you believe in haunted places, that one's got to give you some haunted vibes, right?
The first group of tourists already scheduled to visit the site in January, according to the tour operator, for a price tag of $650. They will have an overnight experience that is intended to provide a deeper understanding of the tragedy. Now, it was a site, the 1978 Jonestown Massacre. More than 900 people, including hundreds of children, died after Jim Jones. The Reverend Jim Jones ordered them to drink cyanide mixed with a fruit-flavored beverage, which we always thought was Kool-Aid. I don't know, man. This doesn't sound fun.
How about that became just a well-accepted, I don't even know what you call that phrase. Don't drink the Kool-Aid?
Yep. Idiom?
Idiom? That's what I was going to say, but it sounded wrong. That just became a well-accepted idiom. Like, nobody thinks twice about don't drink the Kool-Aid. Like, that was a pretty big tragedy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be something like in jest or a light way of saying something about 9/11, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point we'll do that, by the way. That it will become a punchline.
Yeah, I mean, Titanic became
the Titanic.
one.
I mean, you're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. How many times have you heard that phrase? And you're like, it's a pretty big tragedy that you just use as a throwaway idiom. I do it all the time.
No, and I'll walk into a room and, there'll be people there. I'll be like, man, this place looks like Jonestown.
Yeah, I mean, I guess every tragedy at some point becomes a punchline.
Oh, definitely.
They all do at some point. I mean, we make jokes about Abraham Lincoln getting assassinated, Jonestown, the Titanic. They all become a punchline at some point.
Kevin writes in, says they have Chuck E. Cheese frozen pizza in stores now.
Oh, come on.
Why? Why would you do that? It can't be the actual pizza.
Just letting you know, right there.
I don't think you can be stoned enough to eat that.
Enforcer, I sent you some Auburn players opening up some boxes here today. Look at this.
They got their Nike gear?
The Nike cleats, Nike game shoes, Nike tennis shoes arriving for the players down at Auburn. They got the boxes in, ready to go for the upcoming season.
This is going to be, I mean, this will happen in the future, but I mean, you're going to get all the great gear right now because you're sure day one of being a Nike, they're just going to load you up on that.
Yeah, wouldn't you have thought they would have done this day one, though?
I would have, yeah. I was a little surprised. We talked about it day one that they weren't already selling Nike gear, which I was surprised by.
Or at least a little preview or something to build hype for it. They didn't show off any fan
This
gear.
is what you will be able to get in 20 days or whatever. They didn't even do that.
Or do the 31 days of July, the 31 days of Nike.
Yeah.
That is our trash today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our final thought today is from John Talty at CBS Sports. Talty writes today, the worst hires, everybody's doing 25 because of 25 years of this century. The worst hire or worst hires, and he ranks the 25 worst hires, head coaches in college football in the last 25 years. Now that I don't have the article in front of me. I'm gonna pull it up here as we do this free thinking here. Mike Price would be in the conversation.
I was
right?
going to say you had to hire him. You had to fire him before he even coached a game.
Chad Morris
at Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to be in the conversation.
Well, most disastrous tenure in SEC history.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
It was.
You keep naming. I'm going to throw Brian Harsin out there to see if he makes the list.
I mean, he did a year and a half at Auburn. Even by Auburn standards, that's quick to fire a coach.
Well, I think in modern Auburn football terms, he goes down as the worst, is he not?
Yeah. Boy, I'm trying to think outside our little bubble right here. Ohio State hasn't really made a bad hire in that time. I mean, Luke Fickell was kind of forced into that situation.
He was a Band-Aid. He was an interim coach.
Yeah, but I mean...
So, yeah, you don't put Fickell on that list.
I mean, Rich Rod at Michigan might get on there. Don't know if that's entirely fair.
Well, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad for Rich Rod at Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm just going through, like, major programs thinking of...
Okay, here we go.
I wonder about Al Golden at Miami.
I'll skip through some of these fast, but when we get to one I find interesting, we'll stop. Mike Locksley at New Mexico. We'll see if he appears on here twice. Steve Adazio, Colorado State. Mike Riley, Nebraska. Has that been this century?
Yeah.
It has been.
It wasn't great, and I like Mike Riley, but that was...
Yeah, and I really... The Colorado State, and what was the other one before Colorado State that you said?
New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean... What are the expectations there? I mean, at least Nebraska does have some sort of expectations.
Close to home, good buddy, 22. Jeff Collins, Georgia Tech.
That was tough.
Not good, yeah.
Chris Atcher, Rutgers. Charlie Strong, Texas at 20.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Brian Harsin is on the list, 19 at Auburn, 9-12. Carl Doral, Colorado, 8-15.
I mean, it's such a bad program. That one doesn't even register for me.
He actually, UCLA had a couple of moments there.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin, Arizona, 9-20.
Yeah, that was bad.
Mike Jinks, Bowling Green. Willie Taggart, Florida State, 9-12.
Yeah, hired him away from Oregon, right? He left Oregon to come to Florida State.
He did.
And, boy, it was a disaster.
And everybody was like, man, he's coming back to his home state.
That's
Watch
right.
out. Showboat Willie.
Showboat Willie, look out.
Daryl Hazel, Purdue, 9-33.
That's not good.
John Embry, Colorado, 4-21. Colorado on the list twice. Purdue on the list twice. Ryan Walters, Purdue, 5-19. Greg Robinson, Syracuse, 5-37.
Yeah, he was defensive coordinator at Texas before he got the job.
And they won the national championship, gets the job, and people thought he was going to be the next Paul Pasqualoni.
Yep, complete disaster. Complete disaster.
See if Tennessee makes the list twice. Derek Dooley is on there, 15-21 at number 10 on the list.
Yeah, and it was just kind of a bad look. He didn't look the part either for whatever reason.
Do you think Tennessee's on the list twice? Ron Turner, Florida Atlantic, 10-30. Les Miles, Kansas, 3-18.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just remember, I think it was the COVID year, right, where they got undressed by Coastal Carolina.
Yeah. Grayson McCall.
Yeah, I mean, just got shredded in that first game.
Tennessee's on the list again. Jeremy Pruitt, 5-19.
Is that with forfeits?
Yeah, it does have an asterisk.
Vacation, because he coached longer than that, yeah.
Number 6, Tyrone Willingham, Washington.
What was his record? Do you have his
record? He was 0 for 1 year.
Yeah.
He was 11-37.
That's pretty bad.
Charlie Weiss, Kansas, number 5, 6-22.
Kansas is on there twice.
Yeah,
in the top
most
six.
of these are bad jobs.
Yeah.
Chad Morris, Arkansas, 4-18. Ellis Johnson, Southern Miss, 0-12.
Yeah. Again, it's Southern Miss, though, so it doesn't really register. And number 1?
Tied for number 1, Mike Price of Alabama and Michael Haywood of Pittsburgh, both of them 0-0.
Remind me on Haywood.
Yeah, who was Michael Haywood? I don't even remember him.
Haywood made a big jump from Miami of Ohio to Pittsburgh, but lasted only a few weeks after he was arrested and charged with felony domestic violence charges. Todd Graham, who just missed the cut from his time at Hawaii, lasted a single season as Haywood's replacement at Pittsburgh before bailing for Arizona State.
How about I don't remember anything about that story?
No.
I remember Todd Graham being at Pittsburgh, but I do not remember Michael Haywood.
Yeah. That is John Talty, CBSSports.com, if you want to read the entire list. And that's our show today. Thank you to our friends at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio. They bring you our show every day. And also the wonderful folks at Bud Light, Adams Beverage. Bud Light, easy to enjoy, easy to drink. We're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget later today, a new Meltdown at 2. All of our stuff on social media. And, of course, 1 week from today, we're in Atlanta. Normal show times, 9 to 12, but a lot of other stuff pre- and post-show on our social media platforms. So go follow us everywhere at Next Round Live and set the automatic downloads at Apple and Spotify right there. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.